Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Oh, it is so fucking early. Oh, how's everyone feeling? How's everyone feeling? Are we good? Are we ready? Jesus fucking Christ. Core. Oh, fuck. Fuck off. No, oh, we're gonna have a technical thing today. This is what it's gonna be like. No, okay. So, full disclosure. I have seen bits of this. I've not seen all of it. You can... I'm not going to say who to blame. But someone's like, go to bed. Get some sleep. It's fine. Now, this is four hours long. Welcome to the Lio response. How are we going to do it? That's a good fucking question, because it is really long. For a lot of you, it's like 12:30 at night. Do I want to drag you through the entire thing? Fuck, my voice is going. Oh, that's a good start. I'm not sure yet is the complete fucking answer, because I think this... okay, so what I've seen in this video I think is interesting. I like to see that... fuck, I've just watched the last little bit. Congrats to those who got the little shout-outs. I did hear my voice a couple of times, and I will share with you that the narcissist in me was very, very touched. I think Jibs mentioned me early on. That was nice. It was the whole thing. So, okay. The video is called Addressing Things. Jesus fucking Christ. How are we feeling? Beckett needs some more milk. Yeah, okay. So, Farmer Beckett is awake, okay? How are we feeling? We good? I'm really interested to see what the response to this is going to be. I'm not going to lie to you. So, I've been pretty upfront about what I think my read on what a good response would be. A good response would be the Lio versus Peaches, Lio's not an abuser conversation. I'm gonna go sleep. Lamau, do tell me tomorrow while I'm playing what you think. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. I'll be DMing Serafina going, what the fuck do you think? So I think that, like, the Peaches stuff is kind of, in some ways, the more interesting part, because that's kind of like a breakdown. From what I've seen of bits and pieces that I woke up to, it's pretty much what a lot of people have expected. Now, does that mean there's some curveballs in there? Potentially. I think I've heard... I got a DM about some very saucy allegations, which we'll look at. I think Night, bestie. I think there's an element of having to pick through because there's so much. Part of the problem with a 4-hour response is where the fuck do you begin? So we are just going to go through it. We're going to start diving into pieces. I have no idea how long this is going to take. People can DM me during it. One thing I found interesting is that at the end of the video, Lio said he's going to be sat in his new server taking calls. Why? Look, I'm not offended. My main thing has been when I've put out previous statements of, well, Lio, come talk to me, talk about the feature stuff. It's really because I was waiting for this. So I'm not sure what anyone's going to do. I think it's kind of interesting that Senate has been archived. I'll start saying, oh, good, yay. I'm not sure what archiving the Senate's meant to do. Because I don't know whether this is we're making a clean break from things. Things will be different now, boys and girls. Things will be different. But it's the same people, broadly speaking, or at least the same ethos as where the Senate is now. Surely, I'm interested. I don't know who's in it, so it could be. I could be completely wrong. Maybe they found a whole new group of moderators, a whole new group of people. I do know that Lai is going to talk a little bit about the changes he wanted to see, but I think that's it. This. We're entering the end game. Also, there is one other thing. When I say end game, I really do mean that. From what I hear on the whistles on the wind, the whispers, there is going to be more than just this. Obviously, there's going to be potentially the Doodle Tones and Zach videos. Now, I don't know what those are going to look like fully. I've got my suspicions, and I've heard the little rumors, but I don't know fully. So I think the next week's going to be very busy. If their tactic is put out as much information as possible, because it's basically impossible to respond to this much information. Congratulations, guys. That may have actually been a pretty smart tactic. But let's find out. Okay, let's... you can tell that I needed rest. Right, okay. So, let's go to there. I hate doing... I hate doing the whole kind of, it's fine, we'll, it's fine. We'll premiere it and try and find everything. It's very annoying. I hate premieres. Oh god, it's so long. Right, let's fucking go. Oh my god, that is louder than it needs to be. Considering what this video is, that is very cheery premiere music, okay? I hope Zach has has actual proof of me harassing him for once. I mean... okay, so somebody sent a comment that, like, the proof is thin on the ground for some of this. That's just what someone DM'd me who'd been watching it. I'd say, generally speaking, and this is true for everything, like, so... The recent stuff that came out that Lio had written the database video, for example, and I was pretty skeptical of this. I was like, it doesn't look like a Lio script to me. And I didn't say anything because I didn't want to comment on it. I don't want to fucking get involved. And the database stuff is fucking weird. So I didn't want to get overly involved in any of that shit that Lio had written. But like, it's really easy when you've got bits and pieces of information to present narrative the way you want it. I'm kind of interested to see how much Lio has, actually.
Hi, I'm Lioconvoy, but you probably know that already. I know you've all been waiting for this video. I'm sorry it took so long to put together, but there's been a lot of revelations that have come to me, as well as a ton of things thrown at me that I need to address, and I'll be addressing as much as I possibly can. I will preface this by saying there are wrongs I've committed, and they will be brought up. Accountability will be taken, and apologies will be made. But those aren't even the accusations that are most damning towards me. I've been accused of being an abuser of my found family by all but one member of it. That, and other things, are what I'm covering today. This video will not be short. It will not be a compilation of calls. It's going to be in-depth and have as much evidence...
Oh, thank you for the 5. I'm salty you ditched me for art commentary. We were meant to do a stream earlier, and I was like, Lio stuff is happening. I'm so sorry, Crow. I love you, buddy.
As I can provide. While most of the claims of abuse against me don't have evidence to back them, I'll try to answer what I can with the evidence I do have, and fill in the rest with my own testimony. I only ask that you be patient and listen with an open mind. For those of you drawing, please pull up your screens or tabs.
I don't know what this fucking music is. I don't know what the fucking musical accompaniment choice is of this fucking video. I have no idea why you would do this.
To look at the screen to see the topics here that will be covered so it doesn't catch you by surprise. We're going to start by addressing the accusations levied at me by the person you all saw as the closest to me, and the person whose word is being taken the most seriously. There's going to be a lot about Hopeless Peaches that we'll need to get into later, but right now I'm focusing on their Google Doc against me.
Okay. So, we're starting with Lio versus Peaches. The bit I personally, right now, am most interested in. I saw Omnia tweet something out, because obviously I've been keeping an eye, but I saw it a couple of days ago. I didn't really think much of it, but I did think it was interesting that Peaches has deleted her original Google Doc now. And, I mean, I've still got a PDF copy of it, so it doesn't really fucking matter to me. But I do think it's, you know, I don't know whether Peaches has heard about this video and took, like, the immediate step of, hey, maybe I should run. Because I think Aaron is going to try and come back. I think he'll rebrand, he'll, like, show up and be like, I'm just an art channel. Because what else is he gonna do? I mean, one of the things that you kind of learn about internet people generally is they come back over and over and over and over again. So, is this the end? I don't think so. But it should be interesting when they do.
This was released in Senate after Lumi did a dramatic daily countdown leading up to it. This had been planned for the better part of a month. On the day of, Lumi accessed the Dinobot meant for server protection in order to demod everyone, post all of this, and throw things into chaos in a way I couldn't respond to. I'll go into more detail about how inappropriate this level of theatrics for such hefty claims.
Thank you for the 5, man. I have work tomorrow. Looks like I get to fall asleep to the dulcet tones of Sped Sheeran. You are welcome. I am doing my service.
Claims are later, but that's how and when it got released. In order to get through all this, I'll need to go through a few things on a timeline concerning my found family unit. The first people in it were Opal and Jordan in 2021, then Jay was added later that year, Peaches popped into it in 2022. While I wish I could say things were always good, they weren't. And two specific...
I mean, yeah. No shit. Fucking... God. It's gonna be this, isn't it? Oh, fuck.
Specific incidents of note happening during these people's time in my family unit. The first major issue was in November of 2022, during Thanksgiving week. I decided it would be a good idea to have as many of them down for the holiday as possible. Unfortunately, it didn't go well. Within the first day, Opal decided to inform me that she no longer wished to be in the family unit. I could go into full detail and tell you every single issue here, but I think it would be best to just shorten it down to Opal feeling like she wasn't her own person, and not liking the standards I had. To cite one issue, Opal didn't like that I responded to her having a friend that shoplifted for fun as a friend she probably shouldn't have. So, Opal left the family unit, and I even got her an early flight back home. I haven't spoken to her since. However, during the same week, Jordan decided to be awful to everyone, including Peaches. He actively made every interaction a chore, and didn't alter any of that behavior until he absolutely had to. This put stress on everyone involved, but we soldiered on, hoping it would work itself out. The second and worst incident, though, was in February.
Okay, so this is something I've thought about the, like, found family stuff with Lio for a while. So I'm in two minds about this. Firstly, the found family stuff generally, I know that a lot of people who kind of interact with this stuff have had the found family things. Generally in real life as well, I was talking to an IRL friend of mine who I've had since I was like a teenager, and we've always been very close. And, you know, we've got like kind of a brotherly relationship. Like I was best man at his wedding, all this shit, like he'd help with my mum's like funeral and things. So, you know, we kind of got that relationship, but there's a big difference between that and like we're actually a family unit, if that makes sense. Do I think that Lio is malicious in setting up a found family? No. Do I think that there is a level of naivety about all of this that is one of the things that's really bitten him in the arse? Of course. Like, one of the one of the things that keeps coming up is people's general mental health in the fucking art commentary community. And it probably shouldn't come as any surprise to anybody that, you know, depressed people who have a load of fucking issues going on are probably not going to be the most well adjusted. And like, Lio will come onto this because Peaches had made comments that Lio was worried about having children in case he himself became an abuser. And it's like, well, yeah, I understand that concern, and Lio will talk about this, but also you still took people in. You still yourself are saying that you struggle with understanding people's mental health, and there's a reflectiveness there. But it's when talking about like Jordan in this way, it's like, well, it made it miserable for everyone. Yeah, Jordan's a kind of a broken person. Like, there's this weird thing that happens when you take people on as your pet project, and you see this happen all the fucking time. People will go and grab someone, be like, I'm gonna fix this person. The whole like, oh, I can fix her meme. And then they get real fucking frustrated when they can't. They can't do anything about it because the like issues that you're dealing with are so deep. You don't need some random person to come and pick you up and be like, I'll save you. You need like therapy and like actual professional support. So even if the intentions are good, it's that kind of question of, are you responsible for the bad outcomes that you create, even if you're accidentally creating them? And yeah, kinda. Fuck.
Of 2023, Peaches and I had an ugly fight, one that's 100% my fault. The problem, though, was Peaches was in contact with both Jay and Jordan and told both of them that he had downed pills in an attempt to end his life. The response both of them had was to do nothing.
That's interesting. Hold on.
23. Peaches and I had an ugly fight, one that's 100%.
Is that the one over Kumu? Wait. Okay. So is that the fight over Kumu where he didn't side with Peaches enough? One that's completely his fault. That's okay. Now I've got interesting things to wonder about here, because I know because I've seen it in sections of this video that Kumu takes a bit of a bashing in this video. I don't, because I haven't seen all of it. Potentially more than most of the other detractors, Lio seems to really go for the throat with Kumu during this video. And I'm wondering if that's tactical, if he was like, yeah, no, totally, that's my fault. I should have totally sided with Peaches. I was wrong, because now he is sort of sat going, because, you know, fuck Kumu. It's just an interesting... It's always interesting with videos versus something like a live stream, because you've got much more time to play with a script and think about like your act process, if you like.
My fault. The problem, though, was Peaches was in contact with both Jay and Jordan and told both of them that he had downed pills in an attempt to end his life. The response both of them had was to do nothing. That included not contacting or telling me about it. Not informing anyone that Peaches had hit that breaking point. Not even...
Okay, but again, those conversations were being posed by Peaches as you not caring, Lio. Because, like, Peaches was doing... And again, this is me making a leap. It's me making an assumption. If I'm wrong, if this is another argument that I'm unaware of, then obviously I would retract this statement. But it seems to line up with the leaks I've seen. If it's, hey, Lio's not treating me like a member of the family, he doesn't care about me, he's not my dad, good God, why would Jay or Jordan come to you? Because you're like the shouty person, and what would you do? Actually, fuck, what would you even do? Like, if Peaches is in Britain, how are you going to help him? Like, wait, what?
Been checking on him the next day. Peaches could have lost his life, and neither of them did anything about it. Not even an apology until I pulled them into a call a month later after finding out all the details.
his fans are sucking his dick. Well, of course, it's what always happens. There's like a response. People then pick apart the response. This is unironically. So I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to tell you who, but somebody who's like done a lot with this messaged me recently and said, "I'm fucking done, Beckett. Beckett, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. It's so fucking annoying. I'm just bored." So the problem with a response like this and why I didn't want it is a little bit selfish as well. Because it's like, I want it to be over. I want it to be, yes, ending of the story. Lio comes out against Peaches. Yes, my hair is annoying me. Lio comes out against Peaches and like fucking devastates him. And then we can all like move on with our lives. But a response like this, where there's so much additional stuff like layered in, it means everything has to be gone through. And this is just the first. Because we've heard Zach talk about his video. We know Doodles is making a video. Fuck. Oh my god, I'm gonna be here till I die. Christ. Oh, saying sorry while doubling down and attacking people isn't saying sorry much. I want to be charitable. I want to be charitable, and you may be saying, well, why be charitable, Beckett? And I being like, because I want to, fuck you. I want to, like, I think there are certain things here that Lio wants to take accountability for. I've seen bits and bobs of that. It is to some degree up to the people he is taking accountability for his actions towards, whether they'll accept that. And, you know, if someone's like, hey, well, that was enough of an apology for me, who am I to be like, no, you should be fucking outraged? But, well, I don't know. This is why we see the fallout, isn't it?
This was an event that was never properly resolved, as neither Jay or Jordan chose to take accountability and treat Peaches like a regular person. These are the two major events in the family unit. I'll detail other things as I go along. Let's get into it now.
Hey, this is Hopeless Peaches, and this is the last time you'll hear from me. First of all, I want to again
It absolutely won't be. It won't be. I will put money on it not being the last time we hear from Hopeless Peaches, okay?
apologize for my part in the Rosa call in 2022. I wanted to state so earlier, but everything else that piled on since made me shut down, and, well, here we are. If you've been in Senate for a while, you'd know of the Rosa call, and that I have regretted that call daily and genuinely done what I can to change this server so that it could never happen again. I don't know what happened for me to be so out of—
Also, okay, let's be clear about one thing. Lio has this weird advantage that I want to be really clear. We've given him. On this anti-Lio side, we have provided him a great defense, because this document is so fucking bad and insane. I have yet to meet anyone, and so people know that I chat with Sarah and other people in that server, and chat with people all on every side. I have not met anybody, not a one, who like has looked at this document since the day I covered it and gone, yes, Peaches was abused by Lio. No one. In some ways, like, it's the perfect setup for a defense video, because this document Peaches has provided is so fucking crazy and has so little evidence to it and was so poorly thought out that Lio is actually in a position where he just gets to batter Peaches. Sarah's so nice. Yeah, Sarah's lovely. My super fucked out. No, it's but yeah, nobody. It is such a good starting point for a response video, because essentially everyone, even people who hate Lio, seem to be on the same page that, yeah, well, Peaches seems to have, you know, lied.
of character as to allow that, let alone join in, but it doesn't erase that call though, and that's why I've pushed myself. But I can't push myself for Senate anymore.
Here, Peaches tries to set the beginning of this by saying he wanted to apologize for the Rosa call earlier, but never did. Instead, he just got angry at me for the fact that call was even out there.
Okay, morning. Rebel Aaron. Morning. It seems somebody used that Rosa call you liked being public for some reason. You know, despite me agreeing with Ponder in the end and changing everything around getting changing everything around, been getting comments and a couple of messages about that. I genuinely don't understand your thought process here at all. I told you several times, I told Dib several times that you, but then you undercut me. Everyone disagreed with it being up, especially in a mocking way to Rosa. I'm like, Peaches? Bro. Look, Lio has some great lines in that call. I will steal your essence. But, yeah, Peaches is just, apparently hammered, laughing his ass off, and calling like Rosa a slut. The reason you don't want it up is because objectively you either you either look as bad or worse. It's possibly like the worst optical call for you, so this is why you're doing that. Now, interestingly, let's just look at the date here. The 13th of the 2nd. What an interesting date. So I've said before, I want, like, if anyone from the Lio side's like, oh, let's watch Beckett, let's see. I do want something, and it's like, I don't know whether it's in this video. I want the creation date for the little fucking Peaches I Hate Lio server, because this is fucking early, and I know from what people have told me that server existed at this fucking point. And that's relevant, because it's not just Eren going, hey, I'm now angry about it. It's Eren setting the stage. And this is, again, part of the problem. Like, Lio is fighting against somebody who is actively and wholly fucking malicious against him. Okay? So it's kind of great. It's got a nice little fucking high sympathy ground he's working with. But I want to see that creation date, because I want to know if that's confirmed. Because obviously I've only got it through a source. I'd like to know. I think that would be useful.
I'll address that call yet again later in this video, but Peaches choosing to address this in a Google Doc instead of their largest platform when he had it is not only grossly inappropriate, but not proper accountability. While I included it in a video not specifically about it, I at least did the decency of addressing it. This is something Peaches never wanted to do. But the sad thing that we will get into later, as well as the falsehood that the activity Peaches started and continued to contribute to in that call isn't out of character, and I have the evidence to prove it later. However, it's going to be noted that this is obviously Peaches feigning accountability, tossing it out there in a rush to get the idea that I abused him, possibly to excuse his own actions, and to appear more pitiable to the overall.
That's a very interesting thing to say, Lio. Because it's not that long ago. Oh, fuck, this is what's frustrating about this. It isn't that long ago when Lio was like, Peaches has learned, he's changed, he's grown, guys. He has learned and got better and taken accountability. Now, I've seen the end of this video. I imagine many of you have. And while talking about the FCK, like, one of the things that we hear is, oh, well, you know, if Nezzy and Doodles were involved or around those servers and they didn't say anything, of course, all I can ask is that they take accountability and get better. But, like, a theme of this whole fucking stupid drama is people going, I've taken accountability, and then we look at all the fucking evidence. It's like, no, you haven't. And I don't care about accountability. I don't give a shit. It's just that you're doing the same things that you were before. I want. Do you know what? I want a theory craft. Actually, fuck it. My perfect Lio response. If Lio had dropped this, I promise you, I would have started this stream and been like, Lio is based. My perfect Lio response is, hey guys, my name is Lioconvoy. I like toys, Gundams, and everything, you know, all those things. Those are my passions. Do you know what else I like? I like bullying people on the internet. I like being a dick to people. And I turned that to what I saw as a social good, but obviously I'm deeply flawed because I'm an asshole, like many people, like that cunt Beckett. And you know what? If you're not fucking happy with it, fuck you, I'm leaving. Screw you guys. I am going home. If Lio had done that, that would be base, but it's not what this is. So there you go. That was Beckett's dream response, okay? Neff sent Lio pizzas during the premiere. Fuck me. Okay, well, oh my god. Oh, fuck.
Overall public. Another thing to point out later is that this behavior for Peaches isn't out of character like he's claiming. As I mentioned earlier, he just moved it to more private places.
The reason I'm leaving Senate and why I have purged all my social media is to get away from Lioconvoy.
The best kind of Serafina.
I've never demanded that Peaches be like me or around me. Peaches told me and others that they were deleting all their platforms to get away from their harassers, people like Kai and Omnia. This was due to their involvement in the FCK.
Okay, Scream. Let it all out. Fuck. Now I've got the song stuck in my head. Fuck you, Lio. I'm blaming you for that. Okay. Stay strong, Aaron. We've got your back. Harley TBS is now jumping in on it, and Crystal is making excuses. Harley is what? I don't know what that fucking emo is. Aaron, Harley is basically wanting to spin me as a pedo too right now. The fuck? Probs because I called out Sproxer for being a creeper. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, I'm aware of the Harley video existing. I haven't watched it. If I have to watch one more person cover the fucking Rosa call, I'm going to go and walk into traffic and let God decide what happens to me. I can't do it again. I can't listen to another person going, the truth about Senate. I'm like, fucking, we know. We fucking know, okay? Please shut up.
And the fact that they claimed other creators were labeling them as a groomer and a predator.
Thank you for the two black, two strong. Shout out Cope and Seethe. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. Also, we have a new short out with Jenny. That's nice. It's nice. We're doing more stuff, and it's not this. God hates me.
Because of it. Peaches had already disconnected from me by this point, something I didn't fight against or subvert. I gave him what he wanted, like I always did.
I used to say that I had been abused online for 10 years straight, but it's taken me a long time to realize the abuse didn't stop, and to say to myself that Thomas Guerra is an abuser. It's scary to admit it, but I feel it's true. He isn't a child predator that I'm aware of, as some people have claimed, but that doesn't mean he's some savior of the innocent either.
In this, Peaches makes the distinction that this is how he feels. This isn't based on evidence, just emotion. While having feelings about something can be valid...
Gilded in the chat. Lio's video was disappointing. Like, Gilden's only saying this because he hasn't had to, like, drink himself to death by the end of it. Good evening, buddy.
But the important aspect about these feelings is how you utilize them. In this, Peaches utilizes it to toss accusations at me with no evidence. The fact that he even italicized the "that I know of" portion of the accusations of me being a predator is, frankly, disgusting. Especially that he would later to go on to imply I was a sexual predator in multiple different instances later on. If anything, the wording here is more like a cryptic preamble to what he would say later. This is Peaches trying to give themselves plausible deniability about how they're framing me in this doc. I also never claimed to be some sort of savior of the innocent either. I actively try to help people as much as I can, and have been doing so for 6 years, even to my own detriment. Peaches knows this. I may not always go about it.
I mean, listen, that is true. This has... This has been to his own detriment. He's saying it was disappointing because he was barely mentioned. Poor Gilded. I heard Enler get a shout out as well. Listen, I didn't catch myself getting any flack. Which is fine. I feel like I've put in the work, but sure, whatever. Oh, fuck my life.
In the best way, and I can acknowledge my shortcomings or my mistakes in that regard, but that's always been my intention.
Thomas Guerra is a man who's taken in
Oh, okay, actually, let's just focus on that for a second. For those of you who are wondering whether, like, we're going to get through this 4-hour video in 4 or 5 hours, no, we're not. It's not happening. I can already tell. Does Lio present himself as a savior of the weak and the innocent? He may not present himself that way, but the actions he's taken are like, I will adopt this person who is broken, and I shall uplift them. I shall make them adults. I mean, like, yeah, kind of, dude. Like, I don't I don't know what to fucking tell you. That's the action of somebody who is doing the savior thing. Sleep Time 2 based. Becca, I see you trying to riz Lio up in the VCs. So, okay, do you know what? Yeah, sure, we'll bring that up. So, I have now, today, ended up in a VC with Lio. I know, shocking. So, I jumped into Seraphina's server to chat to Monstrous about something. And just everyone joined, and Lio did as well. And because Sarah's is a neutral space, it was a very neutral conversation. I don't know whether Lio's ever going to talk to me about any of this stuff. I've got no fucking idea. I don't know what to tell you. But, like, we tend to be pretty civil in Sarah's server because it's Sarah's server, basically. But, yeah, fuck. It was a weird experience, actually. I wouldn't have brought it up if Ender hadn't. Thanks, Enla. Because, again, it's kind of a strange one. I can't really talk to Lio about any of this in that setting. It's sort of like an off-limits topic. And I try and be, I don't know, outside things, like, nice enough. And also, I do want the conversation, I'll be honest with you. But, Sarah's server is the no man land between the trenches. Yeah, and today was Christmas, Enla, and Lio and I met across the boundaries and played football for a bit before both of us fucked off back to our respective corners of the internet. But look, I mean, I'll admit to one of my frustrations, because I've said this before with Sarah. This community has all kinds of fucking lore and stories and shit about the Brony community. I actually asked about Horse News. I was like, what the fuck was Horse News? Because I've only ever seen, like, little glimpses of what the fuck Horse News was in the KP drama. And Lio gave me some interesting answers for that. I kind of want him to go back to making toy videos, and then in like a year's time we can have a lore discussion, because I want to know those things. And also, I don't know if anyone's ever fully irredeemable. I think so. For me, it's not about like, does Lio take account? I think it's more the fact of, can we stop talking about it at some point? And I am sad to say, I don't think this video is the video where we stop talking about it. Holy fuck. God. Yeah, that's fucking cool. Right, anyway, carrying swiftly on. I'm begging him to go back to his toy videos. We all fucking are.
Vulnerable people, most he knew as minors, who have trauma relating to sexual abuse by older men to fulfill his fantasy of a perfect family.
I had 4 members of my found family. I met 2 of them when they were minors and took them in after they became adults. Jay and Peaches I met in their 20s. 50% isn't most, and Peaches actively knows this. He's intentionally being dishonest here about the percentage in order to paint the picture that I'm prowling for people to hurt, as we'll see later. Peach is painting this not only as fantasy while highlighting that they have sexual trauma by older men is, again, Peach is trying to frame this as predatory.
All of us had been sexually abused.
Hold on. I just want to go back. That's... You know when you hear something kind of like... Fuck, okay.
Most he knew as minors, who have trauma relating to sexual abuse by older men to fulfill his fantasy of a perfect family.
I had 4 members of my found family. I met 2 of them when they were minors and took them in after they became adults. Jay and Peaches I met in their 20s. 50% isn't most, and Peaches actively knows this. He's intentionally...
I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a weird thing to... It's a weird thing to focus on. If you found 2 people as minors and then they start living with you when they're older, like, I don't know whether this community wouldn't still make the accusation of they were groomed, which is kind of like what Peaches is, like, hitting the lines of. That's not me saying I agree with Peaches by any fucking means. I don't. I've said this before. As far as I can see from the evidence, there is nothing sexually weird that Lio has done, if that makes sense. Like, if somebody came to me and was like, I think Lio is a fucking grooming predator, I'm like, okay, I think you need some pretty strong evidence for that claim. Like, with anything, that's a really fucking serious claim. I think you need more for it. But it's just, I don't know whether it's Lio preempting an attack. It's a bit weird. When we're talking about, like, predatory is a word that can be used in multiple fucking ways, connotations, context, yada, yada, yada. But it's one of those where, did Lio bring in people who were vulnerable, of mature adults, to build his fantasy of having a family. And I want to be really careful about that word fantasy. Maybe desirable would be a better word. Yeah, I think there's definitely an element of that. I don't think Lio taking in Jordan J, Opal, and Peaches is a wholly altruistic act. This is something that he in some way found fulfilling, and I think that's I don't think that's bad. I just think it's probably worth acknowledging that if you're bringing other people into a desire you have, it might go really, I don't know, fucking horribly wrong. I don't know what to tell you, because when people don't match up to that desire, and I do think that's what happened with people like Jordan. Lio had this image of what Jordan would be like, and then Jordan didn't match that image. We do this with other relationships as well. This is completely normal. Like, you ever meet somebody and you're like, wow, that person is hot. If I dated them, we would like go to the park and we'd read books and we'd have picnics on Sundays, and then we'd go to this little cafe around the corner, and it would be so lovely. And then you date them and they are fucking terrible. And you're like, oh, I hate them more, because not only are they not what I expected, but they're breaking a like fucking illusion I had in my head. You're ruining the game.
Being dishonest here about the percentage in order to paint the picture that I'm prowling for people to hurt, as we'll see later. Peach is painting this not only as fantasy while highlighting that they have sexual trauma by older men, is again, Peach is trying to frame this as predatory.
All of us had been sexually abused by older parental figures. Jordan, Jay, Opal, and myself. My groomer posed the same family dynamic. Recently, I have found out that Thomas tried to push 2 other young, barely legal AFABs who were specifically groomed by Joshua Vida, Thomas Guerra's ex-friend, into this dynamic too, then treated them like shit when they refused.
While it is true that Peach's groomer proposed a similar family...
Sorry, I just saw something that really interested me. I got something that somebody was like, oh, I think this shows evidence of the Peaches server existing even potentially earlier than February. So thank you for that. I do actually really appreciate it. Like, all these little things tickling in my brain. Oh fuck. Okay, let's get to the groomer allegations, or the fucking not allegations, but the groomer story. I hate this fucking story. I hate it so much. It's so annoying.
Groomed by Joshua Vida, Thomas Guerra's ex-friend, into this dynamic too, then treated them like shit when they refused.
While it is true that Peach's groomer proposed a similar family dynamic, as you can see with this screen cap.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to find a flight to America just to hug you. Heck, I'll even try convincing my mum to adopt you if you like. XP. Ha 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 ha. Why would I laugh like that? Lol, love the quick change as to see me as little there. Lol, 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 lol. Well, can't hide from the truth, XD, JK. I am unamused, just kidding. Okay, cool. That's fine. I'm just gonna go through these. They move really quickly.
It's not the same. Peach is trying to constantly compare me to their groomer was a consistent thing he always did when he was mad at me. He did this because he knew it would hurt me. The claim about the other 2 is also wrong. I never tried to push anyone into my family dynamic. Heck, one of them, Jibs, is on record admitting quite the opposite.
Should have read there was a point you wanted to raise, I remember you saying to me about the wording.
I don't know if Crystal's watching. I spoke to Crystal today as well. They unblocked me on Twitter. They blocked me because I have Twitter Blue, which I had to get because of this fucking drama to contact people, by the way. Fucking got me paying for Twitter. I've suffered for this content. I want those calls. These are some of the calls that I really do want full releases of. I am very interested and have been since I heard Lio's response video to Crystal.
In a document about the AFABs being adopted into the family.
Oh yes, that. I'm not okay. So in Peach's document, sorry, Aaron. Sorry if I messed that up.
For those in the audience who don't know, because I know there's some of them, assigned female at birth.
It's fine. In Aaron's document, they mention that there were 2 other, they specifically worded 2 other victims of Joshua Vida, so thus kind of excluding Jordan from that. I don't know if that was intentional, that were sort of pressured into the family dynamic with Lio, who said no and then, like, faced consequences for that. I'm aware of this potentially, because I've spoken with some people who know about that. But I'm confused as to if that was meant to include me in any sort.
Wait, is this another call? This is an article. Interesting.
Because if so, that's not true. Okay.
No, you are not the other person in that.
Who, may I ask, is the other person? Because there were 3 really...
I want to know which... Fuck my life.
...main victims of Vita. I did address it when I was on Beckett's live stream. I was like, I have no idea if the...
I mentioned in the first, fucking 15 minutes of the video. Beckett win! Yes! It's by Jibs, but I'll take it. Fuck it. Do you know what would have been funny? Do you know what actually would have been really funny if Lio had done? I don't mean this. If he'd taken that call and when Jibs mentions on Beckett's stream just bleeps my name out, I would have had so much respect if he'd done that. It would have been fucking hilarious. Oh, good times.
This is trying to refer to me, but in case it is, that's not true at all. But that's all I said on that. Because I know Lio did make comments occasionally saying that he would have adopted me if it weren't for one, Opal being against that, because Opal was pretty possessive of Lio when it came to things, and against having another person. And then on top of that,
so it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, and then the other reason was if he would need more accessibility stuff, which he didn't. So, because I do have quite a few disabilities, and so that would have been a thing. But that was the most that was said about that. Other than that, if anything, I kind of made comments occasionally, being like, oh, I want you to be my parental figure and stuff like that. But that was it.
That they wanted in my family unit, and I denied them. This isn't the only time Peaches, or Lumi as well, have lied about Jibs. They also lied about having permission to use the call, and when it was re-added to the doc, they lied about why Jibs allowed it. This is all because Peaches wanted to push a narrative, regardless of who else may get hurt. We can see Peaches' desire to push false narratives by the fact that even after Jibs corrected the...
Sorry, I need to rewind a second. Someone just sent me something interesting. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Interesting. That seems that might surprise me. Okay. I just need clarification on something. Okay, let's go.
About why Jibs allowed it. This is all because Peaches wanted to push a narrative, regardless of who else may get hurt. We can see Peaches' desire to push false narratives by the fact that even after Jibs corrected these statements, Peaches actively kept the claims in the call-out doc.
All of us AFAB, and all of us with deep-rooted trauma that made us susceptible to further abuse.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, that is a good point. I hadn't picked up on that. Even when Jibs had corrected, yeah, there was no change. And Peaches was changing this document. Peaches went in, removed the call, put the call back in. The call went back up. It got taken down from YouTube. Peaches removed the Omnia bit at the end with, like, paying rent or whatever the fuck it was, because it looked incredibly bad. It was like, again, what is it about this fucking group? It's the same thing. Like, Peaches can't just, like, go, hey guys, this is my statement, fuck Lio, and fuck off. It has to be, hey guys, here's my statement, fuck Lio, and fuck all you other people as well. Fuck you for what you've done to me. You're all cunts. I'm just like, can you, like, just do one thing at a time, please? Please, for me, it's purely selfish. Just one thing at a time. Come on.
Thomas used that to his advantage to play house, and if you didn't act how he wanted you to, he would verbally and mentally beat you down into a pulp. This is a pattern, and I didn't see it until now.
Them being AFAB had literally nothing to do with it. I took them in to try and give them a support network and care that their bio families never did. The idea that I did this to abuse them is a fabrication of Peaches' imagination to add to the severity of the accusation. The claim Peaches is making of me wanting the perfect family is also incorrect. Here are screen caps of Peaches
Okay, I'm going to read this in a second because I've been sent something that's interesting. Because we're talking about when Peaches started to distance from Lio, and my suspicion is it's when Lio became less useful. So I can show this. Well, that's large. Okay, so these are DMs between Lumi and Eren. I believe they're DMs. They take place on, it's going to be an American, isn't it? So the 9th of the 7th, 2023. Bro. I love saying bro that way. I'm going to actually cut Lio off for good if he keeps this up. I tried to have a conversation about how I feel, and he started turning it into being a martyr. I was calm the whole convo. So I just said, I don't like how you act like you're a victim when I point these things out. That's, oh my god. And so I just said, I don't like how you act like you're a victim when I point these things out. And he was like, no, I know, I'm not a victim in any case. I said, not in this case, no. And he was like, no, not in any case ever. So I just ended the convo because fuck me, bro, what the fuck. So, this kind of lines up with my take. I agree with Lio that Peaches is a piece of shit, and this is why I don't believe Lio abused Peaches. I think Peaches was generally pretty shitty towards Lio, and everybody, actually. The more I talk to people, the more I find out people were like, God, we hated Peaches. Now, you can take this with a pinch of salt, because my response to a lot of that is, hey guys, if you hate Peaches, why did this go on so long? And I know there's answers to that. I know there's light lobes. I would just be like, yeah, do you know what? Fuck Peaches. And I mean, that seemed to have happened eventually. Anyway, yeah, no, that's fucking weird. I also told him to talk to his wife. Good call, TBH. And he's like, no, she never listens. He needs to learn communication. Oh, fuck. These DMs. Oh, fuck. They remind me of, like, old DeviantArt comment sections, like, unironically, the way these two talk. So I told him that they have something in common then, which is ironic coming from him, giving his whole no cloak and dagger. Oh, shit. Okay. Thank you for that viewer submission. It's always nice. I'm much appreciated.
Beating me down for not being harsh enough to the other family members because of what they did to him. If I wanted a perfect family, then why did Peaches feel comfortable going to me with their issues with the others? Wouldn't I have been dismissive of any potential problems if I wanted to either maintain or achieve a perfect family dynamic? If I'm trying to help by a
Oh, fuck, we needed to go back, didn't we? Because there were other DMs. My poor brain, guys. It's very early here, so okay, bear with me.
Family is also incorrect. Here's screen cap.
Okay, well, Lumi told him because they said they were concerned. This is deleted user, so Aaron. Or Lumi said they did and didn't. But still, how in the hell is that funny? My sister is freaking out and is upset, lol. I'm sick of defense for Jordan. There is nothing he did that's justifiable or not plain cruel. I don't care about his lies anymore. He's not my brother. Like, oh my fucking god. He was never your brother, Peaches! Actually, there's evidence for a claim I want. And I haven't seen it yet. So there's a claim from Peaches, and there's other claims that I've heard. That Peaches started using the he, them pronouns really early, and it's like been like a year or something, and Lio refused to embrace it. Now, as far as I can tell, nobody was aware of this until like a couple of months ago. So I don't think that's honest. What would be helpful is some sort of DM somewhere where Lio uses he, them pronouns for Peaches, and it's ages ago. I mean, if that's evidenced anywhere, but I just don't think it is. It's just one of those things in my head. I doubt that very much, I'm afraid. He's already admitted to have only apologized to Jay because he had to. Yeah, I mean, it all fucking... Oh, Jesus Christ. And he still didn't say sorry to me when I confronted him the day before. Also, this is like 2020... This is like December 2022? What the fuck? This is December 2022, but you were still going to, like, Jordan in 2023 being like, Dad doesn't love me. The old man's abandoned me. I've taken a load of pills. Fucking what? Why is there no consistency with who hates who? Fuck. Right. Not when the person he can't run run from confronts him. This was genuinely the final straw for me, Dad. Ugh. Me being in distress isn't funny. Might. I might disagree with you there, Peach. Sorry. I and many other people have had a good laugh.
Perhaps Peach is beating me down for not being harsh enough to the other family members because of what they did to him. If I wanted a perfect family, then why did Peaches feel comfortable going to me with their issues with the others? Wouldn't I have been dismissive of any potential problems if I wanted to either maintain or achieve a perfect family dynamic? If I'm trying to help by addressing...
Want to talk to me alone? You don't even talk now, so what's the point? I'm not muted or for some dumb reason. That's Lio. I'm here. I'm by myself. Oh, so you'll ignore me when it's family because your family... Excuse me. I'm dying. Okay, there we go. Oh, so you'll ignore me when it's family because your family is way too important to have to listen to my stupid problems. Excuse me? Blank, I never ignored you. Please call me. Why is that blanked out? Is that him calling Peaches by his real name? Okay. Listen, do you know what? I want to give a tiny bit of credit here. Just a tiny bit. Because one of the things that we've seen from Lio is this sort of over-willingness when he's fighting with somebody to make things very IRL and go after people in very harsh, insane ways. I would expect him to, if he's got, like, Erin's real name, I'm surprised that he would be like, yeah, I should probably black that out. It could be optical, it could be an optical choice, though Lio is a bit slash and fucking burn. But, you know, cool, fuck it, yeah. If it's not relevant, don't do it. There we go. Where the fuck was I? Please call me. Why don't you call Dan so you guys can plan cool events right when I'm crying because I hate my fucking life? Lio, please call me. Why bother? God, so fucking miserable, Jesus Christ. We already know Erin's real name. It's irrelevant. I don't know. Fuck it. Whatever. I just say it's really weird. I'm just surprised to see it blanked out. That's all, Emma.
The issues for the sake of obtaining a perfect family dynamic, would that not be a good thing? My family was flawed, just like others. The problem here is that there were issues too that the individuals involved had no desire to properly correct, and I can't force adults to do so. Despite
Lio. Oh, fuck. Lio. I think Lio has the desire to correct certain parts of his personality. And I think this because there is a wealth of evidence of Lio trying to go to therapy and seek treatment, and whatever. Like, this isn't me excusing, it's not me sweeping. I am going somewhere. There is a wealth of evidence of Lio trying to correct those things. It is clearly not working totally. Like, just because, like, Jordan, Jay, Opal, even Peaches, actually, I mean, even Peaches, fuck it, we'll rope him in, like, are unable to correct those parts of their personality that are difficult to deal with, doesn't mean the will isn't there. And this is sort of like, I feel like this is going to be my fucking takeaway from the video. And from what I've seen of it, there's this aggressiveness to what Lio is doing, that Lio wants some charity with this video. On this, there is a pinned comment on the chat from the premiere. The video is 4 hours long, and I'm going to ask you all to please keep an open mind. I've done some wrong, but other things are not true. And there's not proof of Lio going to therapy, but I've heard plenty of people message it, and I mention it to me and talk to me about it. So I think that's enough for me to go, well, you know, I think that's good enough evidence, considering how open Lio actually is about his life. If you want charity, you need to provide charitability. And part of the thing I have about this defense, even against people like Peaches, I'm like, the read Lio provides is very, very aggressive defense, and it encourages, especially with other claims that are going to come, aggressive defense, because why would you do anything else? If Lio wants to break the cycle, this was the video to break the cycle, and he's not done that. There is an aggressive posturing of, I have been lied about, I have been wronged, I've had these things done to me, and I agree with Lio that Peaches has done these things to him. I will also, you know, I will keep an open mind to look at whatever else comes from this video and from others, but it doesn't change the fact that it's like, okay, cool, yeah, people may have been shitty, but that doesn't, like, fucking gloss over the fucking host of shit that Lio has done. In the same way that if somebody came out and attacked me, it'd be like, well, someone's attacked Beckett, so, oh, wow, like, all the shitty things Beckett said don't matter anymore. Of course, that's not how this fucking works. Real talk, I can believe he's genuinely changing, but he's hindering himself by continuing to lie about others. Yeah, I mean, I think myself, Gilded, others have said, you know, if Lio was just like, yeah, fuck it, I just wanna hang out with the old Senate mods, and I'll be honest, like in the call today, where I was in Sarah's, I met a lot of them, and they are like, in some regards, they're not what I expected, and they are what I expected, in that they are older internet people. They're people who've knocked around on 4chan, on old forums and servers. Their humor is edgier. It's not like Senate. It's not like this closed thing of, we have to use the right words, guys. We have to stop all the ableism. It's not that. It's just... It is just people who've been around the internet a long time, who know each other. And I think that Lio is more... I think Lio would be more happy and comfortable, and again, my opinion, with that group than with whatever the fuck Senate is, or this new group, or fucking... Actually, fun question, why does Supreme Court still exist? Why does Hidden's server still exist? The place Hidden keeps referring to as their, like, their community. It's a splinter cell, and it seems to serve no purpose, because it was literally a life raft for Senate members when Peaches did his whole "we're gonna burn Lio" thing, which failed almost fucking immediately. I'm amazed that it's still there. I'm amazed that, like, Hidden's bothering to still run it. Like, Hidden, why waste your time? You want to be a content creator, just build your own community. It ain't this. I've seen Hidden's first video. It's not translating to views, subs, or any of the other things. You know, like, people who have ready-made communities on things like Discord and Twitter, quite often they can translate that into a YouTube channel remarkably quickly. Actually, there's a couple of people in Twitch poll who were able to do that. Hidden's not. It's clearly not your community. Thank you for the 5. Cantoned Way. Fuck, my dyslexia is going to be really bad today. They only bring up they only bring up charitability, abuse, backstories, mental issues if it absolves them of scrutiny. But to their enemies, how dare you use that excuse? Yeah, it is frustrating, and like, you can say, like, I don't know. This is why I don't do the whole accountability thing. It's not the only reason. I think it's really fucking cringe. But like, if you're gonna go, well, Lio was bad for the Rosa call because of what he did to Rosa, which I agree with, but that's why he needs to be held to account. It's like, well, when people come out with their own mental health issues, it's like, well, anyone who's attacking them needs to be held to account. It's like, no, there are degrees to this, and also there should be a levity to this, and in certain parts, and a lightness to others, because let's be honest, some of this is fucking stupid. Like,
what others may think.
In mid-late 2022, I had just separated from an abusive partner and was still coming to terms with the abuse I faced IRL and online, which is when I started talking to Thomas properly. He seemed nice at first.
We're like an hour in, and we've done 20 minutes. I'm going to die, okay? The sun is shining. I'm gonna die. This is the end days of Beckett. $2. Beanskis. People praising Lio was so cringe. Yeah, well. Listen, it's his own chat, and you've got to remember as well that lots of the people who are watching Lio have never watched any of the other side, in the same way that many of the people on this side have not watched well, I was going to say have not watched Lio, but actually we've all watched Lio because we're sat here trying to dig through information. Oh, fuck it.
But after a suicide attempt that resulted in my hospitalization, I had age regressed in the aftermath. Thomas
Sleep
pushed the
attempt
idea of
number
family
3.
onto me while I was in
Good
a
luck, Sarah.
vulnerable state. And then I woke up to being in his family.
It's
I
the
didn't know
inside
how to
bracket.
set
It
that
is.
boundary again and say no.
Welcome to the spiral. Holy shit, fuck. I hope one of these videos is fucking delayed or I'm actually gonna die.
That was on me. However, how Thomas treated me the moment I was in that family is not on me, and it's taken me too long to recognize that.
Here, Peaches is getting the timeline wrong. He did have an attempt on his life, and during that I stayed up late into the night on the call with him when he was in the hospital. Later, not the same day, he admitted to me in a call that he struggled with male authority figures in his life, and I offered to be that for him. While I considered him family from that moment on, he wasn't properly introduced to the others as such until about a week later, and when he was, Jay did a drawing.
Can you ask Pink to delete their tweet, please? I'm having a fit again. Please, please, please. I'm too freaked out to ask myself. On it, handled. Sorry for the scare. God, there's so much drama over what is like close, sure, close internet friendships. Holy fuck.
And put it on Twitter, an event that made Peaches freak out because he didn't want it public yet, so it was removed. The integration into the family was slow. When it comes to the age regression, I had no clue that was going on at the time. This was a state I struggled to recognize on multiple occasions, even after I became aware of it, because I'm not.
Wait, hold on.
Into the family was slow. When it comes to the age regression, I had no clue that was going on at the time. This was a state I struggled to recognize on multiple occasions, even after I became aware of it, because I'm not intimately knowledgeable of mental health signs or specific behavioral.
Lio. Buddy, Peaches does not have age regression. I'm not denying and have never denied that age regression is a thing that exists. Peaches does not have age regression. I cannot stress this enough. It is a fetish LARP. Now, I have heard things in the background where people are like, we know why Lio was taken in by Peaches. We know why. Now, I'm not going to say that because I want to be charitable and I want to be less of a dick this morning. At least for a brief period. But anybody who is seriously looking at Peach's calls, evidence, conversations, and saying, that's what age regression looks like, I have a bridge to sell you, okay? I have a bridge in San Francisco to sell you. I just came into possession of it. And for a nominal fee and a reasonable price, you too could be the owner of a monument, okay? Fuck. I know that Lio is covering his ass here, but he really doesn't fucking need to. Christ! Oh my god.
Cues, and Peaches knew that. Lumi would sometimes have to directly point out to me that Peaches was age regressing because I failed to recognize it. Putting this up as though I took advantage of this is to intentionally frame me as predatory.
For 8 months, Thomas would verbally and emotionally abuse me. He would use my triggers against me to push me into a regressed state, then would scream at me about my own abuse. He would tell me how I must be an abuse apologist because I doubted my grooming experience, and made extremely graphic and sexual comments about the abuse Jordan and Opal went through while I was age regressing and begging him to stop, as some sadistic way of making a point of what real abuse is.
This is something we'll get into later, and I'm sorry I have to keep saying that, but Peaches reframed a lot of our interactions to convince me I was doing things without intending to and that I abused them. Truth is, abuse.
Okay, so there's an interesting thing with Lio that he always keeps falling on his sword. Now, this isn't to exonerate him or anything, but Lio does have a martyr complex. Like, He's very, I need to help people. I was there to do the right thing. I just wanted to be that person for people. People have described, I think in this video, he describes himself as a sword and shield. I've heard many other people describe him as a bulwark used. But Lio, and I mean this honestly, what Peaches did to you was actual emotional abuse. I know. Crazy that Becca would say this. It is. I've seen the logs. I've heard the calls, and like that. It's not exoneration, but it is an acknowledgement that what was done to Lio by Peaches, and I think it made Lio worse. I don't think it's like the sole reason. I think Lio is a cunt, but it's not the sole reason. But yeah, this whole kind of I was like never abused thing. It's like Peaches was highly manipulative and abusive to everyone around them. The more evidence I see of this, and I've seen other people's logs, I've seen logs I don't know, I imagine Lio has them. I don't know if they're included in this, I doubt it. But multiple people, I think we might see this in Zach's video, got manipulated by fucking Peaches. Thank you for the 50. I'm rapidly aging watching Lio's response, Lamau. Yeah, like, he was worse before Peaches. Interesting. Well, okay, I put it this way. From what I've heard, and I can be wrong on this, what I've heard is that it was, like, Lio's always been a dick, but it was Peaches who made him into this sort of lefty, I'll fucking use the right pronouns, we need to be super woke kind of bullshit, and all the optical stuff. Because, like, Lio had been doing predator hunting for a long time, as far as I can tell, like, starting from the Toon Critic stuff. But also, like, there's a real different edge to the old school Senate people. I don't know. I need to match some of the timelines up. But I also, yeah, I don't know. If people are sat there like, fuck it, Lio deserved it. If that's people's takeaway, then yeah. Lio was always a bully, Peaches made him a liar. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I would never do, yeah, I think that's a good takeaway.
Users tend to start out by being super nice, then slowly remove the kindness to use it as a bargaining chip later. I never withheld kindness or affection from Peaches. Heck, I often discounted and discarded how I felt in the moment to give Peaches what he needed. On top of that, I never used his abuse against him. You can see the exact opposite.
Been having a weird day today, this is Peaches, having some intrusive memories of my groomer, and it's a mix of being sad and angry, and I essentially let the dickhead get away. I'm having very wobbly times mentally over it. Oh, fuck, okay. I don't want to read all of this, because I know what's in it. Peaches was, like, emotionally manipulative to everyone. There's no reason that he wouldn't have been that way to fucking Lio. I've had stories of calls where Peaches was, like, just sat with like a couple of other people and would just freak out, and then everyone had to stop what they were doing and deal with Peaches having a fucking breakdown. Lio, it's not your fault. That's not how that works. Yeah, sure. I mean, these are, again, we're seeing these clips out of context. I will say this, like, and you should always be careful when seeing DMs clipped out of context. It's why I have a general rule. If you take DMs and they are clipped out of fucking context, I'm always going to have some skepticism that there's something you're not showing us, because you get the power to do it. One thing I quite like, which is fucking boring but really helpful, is if you've got DMs with somebody, if you're really slashing and burning somebody, just go through your DMs, record everything. Just go on OBS, click record your entire thing, and drop it. So anybody can watch the video of this, or put out the log PDF thing. Everyone can see it and go, there we go, we can see the logs, we can still see the full context, we can see what your conversations were. If you clip things, especially without including the outside like conversations, like what led to this conversation? What was the previous day's conversation? What did Lio say after this? Did Lio get more annoyed at Peaches? All those things remain as questions, even if you don't want to like fucking hit at things, you know?
In the DM here. The event that he's talking about is something I remember well. Peaches was fighting the idea that he was groomed despite the evidence that he had shown me. I brought up some of the others' experience to highlight Peach's values need to be consistent in order to validate what he went through. While I won't doubt that I got more graphic than I should have to try to hammer this in, I didn't know he was age regressed at the time, nor did I actually accuse him of being an abuse apologist. Age regression is easier to notice in person than it is a basic voice chat. In fact, Peach has sometimes spoken in a childish manner for the fun of it, like on this stream.
Ooh, what is that? A ducky! A duck!
We all love this meme. Stop trying to endear yourself to us, Lio. Nonetheless, hold on, we're gonna go back a second. I fucking hate this section. I hadn't clocked this, I think, because I was, like, passing out a little bit, but... I don't know why Lio would spend time trying to validate the age regression thing. I don't get it. I don't know whether, like, again, it's like he's playing to a certain crowd that are like, well, obviously Peaches was age regressing. Why can't everyone see that? Fucking what? Just like, you can't sit there and be like, I understand the things with mental health and everything else. And at the same time be like, yes, but Peach is talking in a fucking fetish voice and saying they're age regressing is enough. Give me a fucking diagnosis. Get me a diagnosis from a therapist saying that Peaches suffered with age regression, because no one here has done a psychological test study on fucking Peaches, and self-diagnosing yourself with something like age regression is fucking insanity, okay? It's crazy. That's a crazy thing to do. And if somebody comes to you and says, I have self-diagnosed myself to be age regressing, your response should be, yes, if you think that, go to a fucking doctor, because that's a crazy thing to think, okay?
Age regression is easier to notice in person than it is a basic voice chat. In fact, Peach has sometimes spoken in a childish manner for the fun of it, like on this stream.
Ooh, what is that? A ducky! A ducky! A ducky! A duck! A duck! A duck! A duck! A duck!
I have no recorded proof of this, but this week...
Because it doesn't exist! Because it doesn't exist! There's no recorded proof, because it never fucking happened! We would have seen it! Holy shit!
realized during my social media purge that I do have evidence of this behavior, albeit reined in. On the 28th of February 2023, Thomas and the old Senate mods had a call with an 18-year-old victim of Joshua Vita, who will have their identity protected due to the comments made by Thomas.
Yeah, like fucking... Jesus fucking Christ.
Being too disgusting to ever want to be forever tied to this person. Link to call. By accident, in verifying information about another young individual Thomas was weird with, Lumi stumbled upon even further evidence of Thomas, 35-36 at the time, berating and slut-shaming the victim in this call, 16-17 at the time.
This is okay, again, I keep saying this, for those who are joining through the stream, I want to be really fucking clear. If I sound offensive or aggressive or annoyed, or like I'm trying to like defend points Lio is making, it's for two reasons. Firstly, because somehow Lio is talking about Peach's age regressing like that was a thing that anyone has any real evidence for beyond Peach's saying it. And secondly, because like I'm trying to be charitable, but also Peaches is so fucking infuriating that like it's hard, because I'm just like, this man had to deal with Peaches for years, and while Lio is, and again, a cunt who fucking like doxed people, called people's schools and reported them as school shooters, phoned people's parents, bullied mentally ill people, not just Rosa, like for years. I still look at Peaches and I'm like, God, you're fucking annoying.
As well as mocking and dismissing their sexuality because they were abused by a man. This is still publicly accessible in the server. This behavior is proven in this call to have not changed, due to Thomas's continuous homophobic and slut-shaming comments.
I'll be skipping this part of the doc here, as it's something that'll be addressed later on in the video.
If this is how he would treat victims in front of other people, I hope you can understand even in some small way how he would treat me for 8 months straight, behind the scenes when he can.
A year and a half, no years. Thank you, Enla. Yeah, I got fucking fact checked by Enla. She just fucking one guys me. It's just that, Enla, this is bullying. Stop it, or I'll write a Google Doc on you. Gilda will help me.
And has lied about the severity of what he's did to me. How this victim was treated was disgusting, and I can assure it was not a one-time thing.
While I won't deny the way I treated this person was completely awful from start to finish, and I will be taking accountability for it, this isn't indicative of how I treat everyone. If it is, then Peaches is going to have a lot to answer for when we get to how I was treated for the past 2 years. Taking
Well, he says 2 years, Enla. He says 2 years. You can't control me, I'm deranged. I fucking agree with you. See, Enla and I agree on something. Right, okay, cool, fuck it, let's carry on.
an event, or even a handful of events, where a person is at their worst is not evidence that they're like that with everyone, or that it's not activity they're trying to remove from their person.
Thomas Guetta keeps stating he has changed since the Rosa call in 2022, whilst lying behind the scenes and pretending the work me and Lumi did to restructure the Senate was on him alone, despite the fact Lumi and I left Senate for a while because of Thomas's lack of accountability and refusal to let us put changes into place.
The idea that Peaches and Lumi were the only ones that worked to restructure the server is factually incorrect. You'll see that here where I started the group chat to discuss.
Okay, hi, just so you're... Oh, fuck me. Hi, just so you're all aware, since you're wondering why I threw you all into a group chat, I want to make changes to Senate starting at the beginning of the year. The people I've added here are the people... When was this? This is December 23. Interesting. The people here are the people I trust the most on this topic, and I value your input. I'd throw Sarah in, but I know she's more focused on her own stuff. This is where we can brainstorm and figure out how to deal/correct the problems in the server. Erin, beat everyone else to death. Lio, thank you. Have a nice day. I don't know who this is. I feel it would be best if you completed your wants changes, compiled your wants changes in a list here, and then we can go through that, giving our inputs and concerns. Lio, bring the server back to being about improvement and conflict resolution. Has Senate ever been about conflict? And like, I feel like people said this. It's about improvement and conflict resolution. Has it ever actually fucking done that? Has anybody entered a fucking Senate call and by the end of it not left like a broken mess? Like, come on. Fucking accountability bullshit. Remove the elitism. After the culture of the room, alter the culture of the room from bully pulpit. Get better control of what is and isn't allowed via a rule restructuring. Although I agree with you, with what you listed, Lio, I do feel some members of staff will leave. Just be prepared for that. Interesting fucking statement from Aska. Okay, so... That's very interesting timing here, because whenever I see anything post-October 23, now, I have been told that Lio did not start going through those logs for the SCK until February. Did Lio know that things were being looked into on the FCK and that Peaches might be involved? I don't know. I don't know. But he knew something was coming. Like, he was aware of this. He'd been aware that something was going on and that strikes, there'd be hits coming out. I'd theory craft, and in fact, fuck it, I will, that, like, there was some additional stuff with Peaches or others, like, providing pressure. But I think the timing of this is really interesting. People keep talking about, like, I saw Doodles doing this. Lio in 2023, you know, Lio hasn't done this since 2023. It's like 4 fucking months ago. What are you talking about? Since 2023. And when all this was like kicking off, it would be even closer. Like, I'm just like, what?
Just the changes, where I list the changes I think need to be made and ask for the input of others. Heck, even in my language, I slipped up and used the R word once since February of 2023. That's not just on the server either, but also seen in our DMs. I'm actively trying to do better. This is also seen in my content and how I run calls. Honestly, just making an outright rule against slurs of any kind was shot down by Peaches and Lumi when Heaton proposed it. Why? Because they still wanted to use them. You want to know why Peaches left Senate? Because it got mad at the people there. Not because of the inherent culture of the room. Lumi left because we got into an argument. While it's true Lumi refused to come back unless changes were made, they were changes I've also wanted and talked about for months.
This is so fucking weird. Fuck off. Okay.
They were put in.
We came back because we thought Thomas changed and genuinely wanted to have a better place for people. To later find out he only placated us because he ran out of mods. Thomas would say he wanted mods who would hold him accountable, but when I called him out for his continued
Gilded. In 4 hours, I only got a 5-second mention. Gilded. Buddy. Good thing. You can get on with your life now. We can make content that isn't about this together. It'll be nice. I can't wait. It's gonna be good. We just need to get through Christmas.
towards Rosa in February 2022, he snapped at me, and K Cosmic had to step in and stop him from yelling at me, only for him to then pull me into a private call and yell at me there instead.
Here's the ableism Peaches is referring to, where I say that while the Rosa call was off,
none of the criticism was brushed off. The entire way we do things here was restructured. There's no justifying the way Rosa was treated in that call, but the anger towards her is justified. What? You can't be like, there's no justification for the treatment, but there is justification for the anger, because the anger is a result. The treatment's a result of the anger. And also, is the anger justified with like to that level is what I mean. By the way, you can come to me and be like, Rosa was a fucking terrible person. I'll be like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't fucking know or care. But there were deeper things with the Rosa stuff, like Lio. And actually, do you know what? Fuck it, I can't say that for definite. I have heard that there are deeper things with the Rosa stuff, where Lio already had an issue with Rosa, the Star Wars shit came up, and then it was like an opportunity to like start going on the attack. And that's one of the reasons there were 3 fucking conversations. I mean, running for hours and hours and hours and hours. Because like Lio had an axe to grind, as many people do. So it's one of those where, like, is that a justified level of anger? Probably not. If she's cognizant enough to get offended over a Star Wars take, then she's cognizant enough to have properly removed a predator. That is a fucking insane sentence. It's never been anything but an insane sentence. It's fucking insane. Hey, if you can argue about Star Wars, you can go and fucking solve Iraq and Afghanistan, okay? What are you doing? As far as why Rosa and not Rebecca, we tried to get her a call multiple times, and when we finally did, she ran like a wuss. Yeah, so you took that out on Rosa. That's fine to say. Cool, Becca, keep up the great work doing stuff in the background, but I've been listening. How dense these people are amazes me. True core. Fucking just actually fucking accurate.
that she's not incapable of making her own decisions, something that will, like many things, be expounded upon later. I didn't yell at Peaches about this. I asked multiple times how it was able.
Leia, I have always been a pygmy. Leia, you are a pygmy. Congratulations. Also, I hope the interview went well.
All he could respond with was, "It is," which is interesting, as Peaches regularly uses ableist slurs whenever the opportunity.
Oh my god. He's not that serious. The SCC are a bit too sensitive sometimes, I swear. I think he's been an issue for a while in those circles. Outside of just stuff with you, I know the law. Oh god. Fuck, even I don't say stuff like that. That's a lie, I totally do. I'm just throwing shade. Nobody knew him until he pissed Harley off. I never spoke about him and didn't have much content. The group did, apparently. They better mention me and my sex appeal bringing all the autists to the yard. I fucking hate it here. I'll let Susie know, lol. It's not Veritas video without dry humping. It really isn't. This is just a reference to, like, saying autist. I hate this just, like... Do you know one thing I have noticed, and I'll say this really fucking openly? The people who've been knocking around this community for a long time still use a lot of slurs. I'm not talking about Senate here. I'm talking about, like, the wider fucking, like, people who've, like, moved on from, like... the brony community and stuff, use slurs. I say this, I'm pretty open about this. I say the R slur. I try not to when doing this content, not because I'm trying to portray myself as a good person, but because I know that some people who don't like me will watch this and try and get through it. And I want them to hear my arguments. So I'm trying to make concessions. But, like, also, you know, I'm bi. I've used the F word since I was a fucking kid. I'm not going to stop now. Like, and that's fine. We're older. We're not fucking oversensitive Zoomers. It's fine.
Presents itself. I never thought I had the right to make him stop, as I didn't think until recently that I was on the spectrum, and I was told by multiple people on it that this was fine, but I should have stuck by my own principles here. Peaches has been scared of the public at large knowing about that call and using it against him, so he took to micromanaging me specifically. I'm not going to pretend that I'm perfect, or that I'm not going to slip up or overcorrect, but the amount of scrutiny I was under for his anxiety wasn't reasonable.
On the 22nd of February...
Okay. That's a weird way to phrase that. You weren't under a lot of scrutiny for his, for his anxiety. You were under a lot of scrutiny because he was throwing you under a bus! Like, it's planned, it's tactical, it's not, oh my god, I'm really fucking worried. It's because, Peaches was setting you up. What the fuck? Lio, just say the thing we all know is true. Fuck me. I'm not gonna be mad at you for it.
2024, Thomas had a call with a person called Raven from the SCC and was aggressive from the get-go despite Raven being civil with him. Thomas then chose to, by his own admission,
True Jack based,
assess their cognitive ability in front of over 100 people. I asked him to stop. Lumi tried to make him stop, and Thomas kept going, which made me have to server mute him.
This is about the Raven call for those forgetting.
And he proceeded to get enraged at the mod staff, link to call, and then came at me with only aggression about it when he heard from his wife that I was in distress and suicidal.
The call with Raven, an SCC member that put kids in danger, didn't start as aggressive. I have no idea where he's getting that. I tried to assess Raven because not only did I catch her in a few lies, but I also didn't
Wait, Vosh was a former subscriber to Lio? That's fucking hilarious.
want to repeat the issue with Rosa. I've actively tried to find the proper balance dealing with people who have disabilities or that aren't neurotypical. I don't want someone with less cognition to get stomped on, while someone with more gets off easy. While I won't pretend in retrospect that I didn't get too personal, this wasn't me trying to embarrass or be ableist to someone on the spectrum. This is me overcorrecting for past inappropriate behavior that I didn't want to repeat. I also
Okay, I'm gonna level with you. Like, I can believe this. I can believe this. Somebody made this argument to me that Lio was in the Raven call overcorrecting because he wanted to not be ableist, and he just fucking bad at it. I've heard that argument. I'm happy to accept it as in good faith. What I would say is, why has it taken this long for Lio to work out that he seems not to understand basic mental health stuff? Not basic, but, like, when you're talking to somebody and you're like, we have this in commentary, where you end up talking to somebody and you're like, you're not all there, right? I got asked on a stage as you go, it's like, okay, well, you're now talking about this. You've wanted to talk about this for years. Are you going to talk about For No Good Reason? Because For No Good Reason is someone I've had a lot of interest in over the years. No, probably not, is the answer. Because what I hear of No Good Reason is that he is not there anymore, right? Like, he's not... I don't know the details, but apparently it's quite sad. There's nothing to gain from it. And it's like, if you don't understand these things, how are you possibly able to manage like dealing with people like this? It's like, well, I don't want people to get stomped on who have serious, have mental health issues, and I don't want other people to get off scot-free. Well, how are you able to make that judgment? Because you seem to be fucking bad at it. If you're this bad at it, maybe it's time to actually just be like, I'm not the guy. If you care, I'm not saying you have to, but if you care, it's like, well, clearly I'm going to continue to fuck this up.
also never snapped at Lumi. Here's the clip.
Okay. I'm not going to go further on that. I'm asking for a reason, Lumi, before you interrupt.
I was going to ask what the relevance of
This
being
music is too cheery. It's just too
I'm
cheery.
asking that for a reason. Can you please let me work here?
How is that snapping? Answer: it's not. Peaches server muted me, yes, which in retrospect, I'm also fine with. But I wasn't doing well from all the pressure he's put me under, so I vented to fellow staff about how I felt Peaches was trying to publicly embarrass me. I couldn't
He is currently answering questions in the server. I know. I'm not going to jump in the server and go and ask Lio questions. I've said to Lio that I would like to speak to him specifically about the Peaches stuff. He knows this. I will respect, like, it's up to him now. It's his ballpark. I said from the beginning of this, when I started covering it, people were like, well, would you talk to Lio? And I was one of the few people who was like, well, not really. What the fuck am I going to say? I could sit here and shout at him for your fucking amusement, but frankly, it's just not really my style of content. And I think other people do it better. Now, do I think that Lio is going to end up in calls with people? Yeah, I do. I think that that's potentially the next stage. He's put out the response video now, so it would make sense. But yeah, I kind of just, I don't know. I wanted to know his take on the Peaches stuff because I want to know the end of the Peaches story. That's what I have in front of me. If Lio wants to talk to me further about it, then I will have that conversation, basically. But I'm not going to go and be like, haha, Lio, I'm in your server. Talk to me. Just, yeah, fuck it. I don't want to jump in a group call, especially on stream. Fuck it.
Tell them why I felt that way. Not only was I not aware of the full scope of what was going on, but also who'd believe me if I talked about it. Instead, my struggle was recorded and given to Peaches without me knowing. Would later find out that Peaches and others secretly recorded calls where I was distressed while making a mockery of it in a hidden server. Peaches and Lumi actively removed any ability for me to have a support network to talk about what was going on. This was intentional. What Peaches isn't telling you is that the call we had later was after I had woken up. Peaches knows that's the worst time to hit me with things because I have sleep apnea and I tend to be quite groggy after just waking up. Yet he has ignored that.
I love that Lio has great Linkara-isms. He's like there's something about the way he puts things. Peaches knew this was the worst time to hit me because I'm groggy and I'd just woken up and I had sleep apnea, and it sounds like Linkara's History of Power Rangers videos. If you have not been following my Twitter, you would not know that I had to move apartments, set up a new studio, all this shit, and I oh fuck me, it never ends.
That boundary multiple times to tear into me at these times. Peaches would approach me at times when he knew I couldn't think or process information properly. Times when I was mentally compromised and vulnerable from lack of adequate sleep. I didn't immediately assess their ideation because there have been plenty of times where he just blew up on me about it. I could have handled that call better, no doubt, but I haven't been okay for a while now. A fact Peaches was aware of.
Link to call 1 and call 2. Thomas has pushed.
By the way, why are you better lit today? It's weird. It's because it's daytime, and because, like, I was like, I'll let some light in, because there's light behind me, like, the curtains don't cover everything, so I just thought I'd be nice. It's the dawning of a new day, Gilded. It's thematic. Stop asking me fucking questions.
Me to the point of self-harm and suicide, even up to present day. I thought it was only me who was being affected, so I bottled it up. I wasn't always treated like shit, so I convinced myself it was fine. I was told to get over being sexually abused only a couple months after it happened, when I was still dealing with the PTSD flashbacks of it. I was told I let my groomer get to other people because I didn't realize what he did to me until I was 21 years old and lost his information. For Thomas to then backtrack when I told other people what he said and pretend it never happened.
Gonna be blunt here, the fact that Peaches blames me for self-harm in their ideation when I was regularly in call and text with them worried about it is disturbing. I never wanted to push him to that. I cared about him. Why would I? The comment about get over it didn't even come from me. It allegedly came from my wife, someone that isn't used to the discussions about SA.
Are you happy now? Is that better? Do you feel like it's more in line? Fuck you. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I always doubted that she said exactly that, but I had no evidence to provide to counter Peach's claim, and any attempt at discussing it further was met with claims of believing that they're a liar or crazy. I have asked my wife, but she doesn't remember ever saying that to Peaches. This isn't to say directly that Peaches is lying, but there's nothing proving that this interaction happened. The only other person present doesn't remember what Peaches is accusing them of having said that, and when pressed on it, Peaches immediately jumped to accusing the confronter of calling them a liar or thinking they're crazy. Does that mean my wife is part of trying to convince Peaches he's crazy? If someone was just misremembering or misunderstood someone else's intention in a conversation, why would they instantly turn to accusing the person who asked them about it of calling them crazy or a liar?
Okay, so I have this weird thing about Lio's wife that I don't really want to talk about her. I feel like Lio's wife got dragged in. Fuck. Okay. There was some leaks on Twitter about Lio saying, I don't want to talk to Akumu or Kumu because they've talked about my wife. Why would I talk about somebody who talked about my wife? She's nothing to do with any of this. Which, you know, like, I sort of get. And at the same time, the person who really brought Lio's wife into this it's fucking Peaches. Like, Peaches with the whole conversation of, well, Lio made his wife apologize to me, which, as far as I can tell, is a thing that actually did kind of happen. So it's since the breakdown between Lio and Peach's relationship publicly, it feels like Lio's been talking about his wife more, basically. It's just, yeah, I don't know, it's one of those.
Misunderstanding or misremembering something doesn't make you either of those things. I never told Peaches he let his groomer do anything. I did the opposite, not only shown through the screen cap, but also in multiple calls where he blamed himself. Peaches wanted to tell the world about things I never witnessed and demanded I go along with it or be labeled as abusive.
Recalling how he spoke to that victim in 2023, how he would use that same language against me for 8 months straight, how he defended Kumo pushing a girl into self-harm in February 22nd, 2023, how he's treated my friends, and recently how he has been using ableist language to justify the Rosa call and to justify embarrassing Raven, I realized I can't be his lightning rod anymore.
I never justified Kumo pushing someone to self-harm. Kumo fed me a sob story that I didn't know what to do with. There's a
Go back slightly, hold on, I want to read
Kumo
these.
pushing someone to self-harm. Kumo fed me...
Also, have people been telling you about the whole self-harm thing? Because a bunch of people are making it public, and Nil is part of the publishing. What are you talking about? The whole thing about my Discord banner and how I encourage self-harm and that whole mess. I never even noticed. Where is it being publicized? I got dogpiled for it in Senate, where Nil was doing mental gymnastics, trying to pin responsibility on me for someone else's self-harm. And the reason was because my banner triggered them to do it. But Nil was apparently recording, and he sent it... okay. But you did jump in and break up that call. Peaches was saying that you were defending Kumu, right up until Peaches came in like the third call, and you were kicked from the fucking server. Those were things that happened. They occurred.
Me a sob story that I didn't know what to do with. There's a difference here. Hate to tell you this, but I'm not magically knowledgeable about how everyone deals with stuff like that. I don't have all the answers. Peaches also makes claims about how I treated his friends.
God fucking damn it. Okay, this is so frustrating. You can say that you're not psychic, that you don't have all the answers. That's completely acceptable, but you have put yourself in the position where everyone comes to you because you present yourself as the adult in the room who has all the answers. So young people, teenagers, are coming to you and going, okay, let's see what Lio has to say. Let's help get Lio to sort something out, because you're the one who's created that impression. People didn't create it for you. Well, I mean, they fucking did to an extent, but you're the one who allowed them to. Fuck, it's so frustrating. It wasn't a sub story. Yeah, I don't think it was a sub story. I think it was a fucking explanation. Which is what's frustrating about this, because I feel like it's I know you catch... Good evening, Kumo. I know you catch shade in this, but it feels like there's this carefulness about this response from Lio, where it's like, well, I've got to frame things in the correct way so that the right story gets out. Like, I can use these bits later. Fuck.
But doesn't list what I've done. Probably because I don't think I did anything. I already demonstrated what they were calling ableist language, and that's not what this is, along with the Raven claim. But I'll admit that his claim of being my lightning rod is infuriating, because even casual viewers would know that I was his. Anytime Peaches got into heat or an argument on Twitter, I had to be there. I took the heat. I took the hits. I was used as a sword and shield by Peaches to both friend and foe.
You put yourself in that position. This isn't me exonerating Peaches on the other side. Lio put himself in that position, not just for Peaches, for fucking everyone. And let's be clear, Lio liked it. He did it before Peaches was around. Endler is right. Like, it was... Lio was an attack animal. It's not just Peaches suddenly came in. It's just that Peaches like got that specific treatment where like Lio was doing that for them. And speaking to other people, Peaches didn't just try and monopolize Lio in this way. Peaches tried to do it with other people as well to get what Peaches fucking wanted. Like, fuck.
Oh, even when he was completely in the wrong, I had to be the one to draw the attention.
After that point, I distanced myself from Thomas since rewatching the recording of the call I made to protect myself after warnings from the mods. It made me reflect on how I've been treated these past 2 years. I thought I could collect myself and understand how best to cut him off softly in a way he wouldn't blow up. But it seems even just staying with a group of friends away from Senate and Lioconvoy was too much for him.
Peaches cut me off for the first time on March 6th. The only example of me allegedly not honoring that is asking Lumi if they're okay. I did this because last time Peaches did something like that, they attempted, meaning there was a precedent for me to be worried, and I was scared. Peaches went around the block himself on March 8th by calling me on my cell phone to get me to inform Crystal that the Glitchtail videos are down because of privacy and defamation claim. A few days afterwards, once Peaches got what they wanted out of me, they blocked me again and I honored that. I never blew up or threatened to. I never asked anyone else about him or what was going on. I completely left him alone and honored his request. On top of that, the logs we have of his personal server say something completely different about all of that.
I found out Thomas has been going around to commentary channels before and after this point, saying his own outrageous beliefs and passing them off as mine, claiming he solely changed Senate after the Rosa call, despite me being yelled at and belittled for months after that call, whenever I begged him to restructure the server, and creepiest of all, to me, he pretended him and I were still close and familial. We haven't been family for a while. But Thomas would refuse to give me that space and made me feel unsafe correcting that.
If this is what I was doing, then why aren't there any examples provided? Yes, I want.
Because you're dealing with somebody who is trying to throw you under a bus. Just say the truth. Peaches, Lioconvoy was dumb, and Peaches set me up, and I let him for a course of months. That's why. It's because he was actively trying to fuck you over. Just say that. Fuck, this doesn't need to be this long. I can't believe I'm saying this about the content that I've waited for, but I'm like, it's not that fucking complicated, guys. Come on.
Wanted the server to change, but I don't recall ever saying it was solely my work. And what outrageous beliefs? There's nothing here to work with. What I can tell you though is Peach is always worried about people thinking he agrees with all my actions and opinions. Granted, he never shared that concern in reverse, but hindsight is 20/20. I didn't go out and tell people they were no longer family because that's a private matter. I'm not obligated to spread his thoughts. And what's this nonsense about not being a family for a while? How long is that to people? Because here Peaches was calling me dad in early February of this year.
You're a good dad. I am looking for jobs, by the way. I am so. I know you are. And as always, I'm proud of you. Now, there is another element to this that got leaked to me. The support... Okay, I don't want to give up too much because I don't know how much I'm allowed to say. But I will say that the support that Lio gave to Peaches, from what I can tell, is fucking huge. Like it was a really significant level of support, and it was for a prolonged period of time.
Here, Peaches is outright lying here to push the idea that I'm some sort of creepy stalker. I always gave Peaches space when he asked for it. The only time I didn't was when he was a danger to himself.
Thomas didn't want the public to know he mistreated yet another family member.
Peaches has multiple times said to myself and other people that they know I didn't abuse the others, or that they didn't believe them. Peaches...
Okay. Fuck, I hate this so much. Right. If you think somebody is an abuser, this is just bad evidence saying at this point. If you think somebody is a fucking abuser, why would you go to that person and be like, you're an abuser? If Peaches was trying to avoid abuse, you'd just be like, they'd agree with you. They'd agree with you to avoid the abuse. I'm not saying that's what happened. That's actually not what I believe happened. This is just like, this is a problem with showing little bits of fucking Discord DMs and being like, here, let me give you the fucking context. Let me tell you what's in them, because it's just fucking frustrating.
Peaches is trying to piggyback off of what I'm dealing right now to do as much damage as possible. If he knows that I didn't abuse the others, then he's lying here.
I have so much regret for not seeing through his persona sooner. I always brushed it off as it just being an issue with me, and that I deserved everything I got, especially with how Thomas would seem genuinely nice whenever he wasn't being questioned. When the call in February 2023 happened, I was shaken to my core and regressed, and forgot most of everything, including the fact I was the one who had the recording. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Peaches, somebody who has been around in this space for ages, basically bullying and destroying people. I'd completely fucking forgotten. I had no idea that I'd had that in my back pocket the entire fucking time. Now, as far as I can tell, with the Jibs call, I don't know if anyone else has it, but people were aware it existed. And it makes sense that Peaches would have it, because again, Peaches was like the core mover and shaker.
At this point, I'm starting to wonder about the regressing. It seems to be a key anytime people...
Oh, really? Oh, really? You're starting to wonder about the regressing? Jesus fucking wept. What was your first clue, Lio? Was it the fact that he's speaking to you like it's a daddy-daughter thing? A, like, fucking fetish video? Was that it? Was it the fact that none of it lines up, or the fact that it's incredibly convenient as a defense? I don't know. There's so many elements to it. Jesus fucking Christ.
Peaches has to be responsible for anything. Also, Peaches mentioned the call to someone in May of that year. Peaches may genuinely have memory issues, yes, but it's got two edges on it. If you remind him of things he doesn't remember, he'll just accuse you of lying. Especially if it's unfavorable to him. There's nothing wrong with struggling, but when you treat everyone as suspicious, then you're going to cause problems. You're not nefarious for having memory issues, but if you're constantly accusing anyone who brings up something you don't...
I've said this before, anytime anyone's in fucking drama, it's always the same thing. Oh my god, I've just discovered I have autism. Oh my god, I have memory issues. Oh my god, I'm very depressed. Oh my god. Like it's a list of fucking like the key phrases that you'll hear everyone say when they're caught in fucking drama. And they're like, oh, I just found out that I'm autistic, guys. That's why I did all these things. It's like, plenty of perfectly functional autistic people out there. I'm really not sure why you're throwing shade at them like this. I don't know. Memory issues are very fucking convenient. Yeah. Oh, I don't know, Your Honor. I've got no idea. I don't remember stabbing 12 people. That's fucking wild. I mean, it looks like me in the CCTV footage. Christ.
Don't remember or remember differently of lying or thinking you're crazy, then that demonstrates a severe lack of trust on your end. On top of that, Peaches has refused to give Jibs that call in full.
I feel stupid, honestly. Thomas would go to such extremes to make me feel unsafe, and that I had to be around. In the first 8 months, my known suicidal ideation would be used as an excuse by Thomas to threaten me with police visits and being put away for a while if I stopped responding to / hung up on Thomas when he was screaming at me. I could have just refused to listen and plead a case for myself if Thomas did this, but at the time I was freshly out of an abusive relationship and was constantly pushed to regression. I know better now.
Every time Peaches was suicidal, I tried to calm them down. Every time Peaches had ideation, I tried to calm them down. They knew hanging up freaked me out because I'd assumed the worst. When I knew they were having the ideation and trying to act on it, I'd always try to get them back in.
I had a thing recently. I'm going to talk about it. I'm finally going to fucking talk about it. I had a thing recently where a good friend of mine, like internet friend who I've known for a couple of years, was going through some stuff. They've been going through some stuff for a while. And I got a message from somebody being like, oh my god, they're suicidal. They've fuck. Taking a load of pills. It's really bad. Everything's terrible. Can you come to this server? And I was like, this was like early morning for me, and I was like, okay, cool, fine, fuck it, whatever. Anyway, I ended up in this call. This person had already gone to bed. I basically, I was very annoyed. I was very pissed off. But I basically shut the conversation down. It led to some drama, and the fact it occurred leaked. And somebody said to me, who will remain nameless, but to many of you who know commentary will be aware of who said this. It's like, that is so fucking cringe that you did that. It's just, I think his exact words were, that's so retarded. Because you're in your 30s, why are you getting involved in a call with somebody like an internet person being suicidal? And I was like, yes, I agree with you, which is why I tried to calm everyone down and get them to go to fuck to bed. Because it's really frustrating to be dealing with anything like this at this age with fucking internet people. It's annoying. And Lio, if there's this huge fucking history of, yes, Peaches would phone me and talk to me, and then they'd be suicidal, and over again. Was that not a clue that this is a person that you're in your 30s, that maybe the friendship you had with them was fucking weird? It's so fucking weird. I just fuck, I rip my hair out.
Call. But if that didn't work, what else was I supposed to do? All I could do was call emergency services or tell Peaches that I'd have to if they wouldn't pick up. I never used it as a threat or a weapon. It's all I could do to try and keep them safe. He'd tell me I didn't care, so what was I supposed to do? Nothing? The fact that he's listing it out as a control thing is disgusting and a willful misrepresentation of my character. Peach is either capable of or fully willing to misrepresent responsible, concerned behavior pertaining to keeping him safe as malicious, calculated abuse for the sake of furthering this narrative. I'll also point back to the incident in February of 2023 where Jay and Jordan didn't tell anyone that Peaches had taken pills. So there, they were in trouble for not telling someone, but I should be expected to not contact help for them if they're in the same position? There's no winning with this logic. Every answer is wrong.
Thomas, a real father wouldn't...
Yes, you're dealing with fucking crazy people. Congratulations, Lio. I'm glad that after fucking years of this, you've come to this conclusion that adopting people with serious fucking issues and in a community driven entirely by petty drama may not have been the smartest fucking decision. I'm glad we're at this point. I'm glad we agree on something.
Yell and scream at family. A real father wouldn't use their kids' trauma against them as a means of winning petty arguments.
You're not a real none of you, like, fuck.
A real father wouldn't threaten to divorce his own wife to keep their kids in check. A real father wouldn't make graphic sexual comments while they're age regressing and begging you to stop. Hell, a real father wouldn't take months, multiple scoldings, being cut off, and having your entire script reworked just to respect their family's gender, only to keep calling me your dear daughter, despite me being neither a woman nor part of your family. Stop pretending we're close. Stop pretending you're looking out for me. Stop pretending we're in contact. Full stop.
Any attempt at any form of disagreement with Peaches would result in a meltdown or a threat to his safety. By Peach's standards, a real father gives their kids anything they want at all times. Ironic, as I attempted to do just that, to the detriment of almost every friendship or relationship I have. I never weaponized his trauma against him, but he sure did against me, as you'll find out later. And how would I keep kids in check by threatening to divorce my wife? How does any of that make sense? As far as the gender...
None of this makes sense. It is, however, quite funny, but none of it makes sense. Oh my god. What pronouns today, by the way? I can't speak sometimes. It's okay then. Take your time. She, they, I think. Interesting. Oh, okay. That's what I was asking for earlier. That is totally fine, buddy. Ye. You are absolutely love here. And if someone is bothering you, we shall throw hands. No, from Aaron. Okay, so as, like, on the 2nd of February, 2024, Aaron is saying that they are using she, they pronouns. So, do you know what? That's probably the strongest, like, again, that's probably one of the best bits of kind of pushback Lio can give on the transphobia comments. So I don't know if that needs more fucking context, because again, even if the claim is, well, Aaron was gender fluid at this point, that's fine. Lio doesn't know what Aaron is feeling on that day without Aaron telling them. Like, I've got gender fluid friends. Quite often it's like, oh, these are my pronouns today, or they're just pretty easy, or they'll just use neutral, they, them pronouns.
There goes, Peaches was gender fluid for the past few months, changing it on almost a daily basis. Peaches wrote this document on March 14th, claiming I would constantly misgender them. Yet I have screenshots of Peaches going by she, they on February 24th of the same year. 19 days apart. Lumi concretely made an announcement about Peach's pronouns on March 6th, the same day the two of them cut contact with me, up until Peaches called me on my phone on March 8th and kept hounding me about the Crystal video until March 10th. Up to this point, myself and many other people in Senate were under the impression that Peaches was still gender fluid, so we didn't know that he had chosen to fully stick with he/they. It's hard to just turn your brain around on what pronouns to use with a person, especially if it's constantly changing. You're going to make mistakes and will need to be corrected once in a while. While I may have misgendered them in an earlier script, it wasn't out of malice or intention, but habit. I also stopped calling them my dear daughter, which was just the custom name I gave their Discord. Anytime past the cutoff when people asked me about him, I told them to ask him or another person. But let's talk about the sexual comment stuff. The reference here is the event I mentioned earlier. Peach's entire doc is framed in the way Peaches had me claim Crystal's tweets were towards them, intentionally done to frame me as some sort of dangerous predator. That's why this is typed this way. Especially saying he said sexual things to me while I was age regressed. Like, how do you think people are going to read that? Which is interesting.
He said sexual things to me while I was age regressed. Okay. There's a twofold thing here. People are free to disagree with me. Firstly, I fully read this age regression, bit, in line with what I've seen as, from fetish play. Just from looking at those communities. That's how I've seen those people talk. That's why I'm not charitable with the claim. On the other side, is the claim then that Erin is making that Lio was talking to Peaches in a sexual manner on a regular thing? Because, I mean, this is sort of just feeding into the weird sort of narrative that Lio's and Peach's relationship was not just friends. Because, yeah, it's an interesting one. I wonder if I'm curious now whether Lio's going to push back on that. It's like, I've never been sexual towards Peaches. I don't care about the panic. I really don't. I was called a predator, a fucking predator. I'm never speaking to them again. This is like the 26th of the 2nd this year, and I hope you don't either. I won't be after all of this. Well, I mean, that was preemptive. You don't need to be friendly with that person. They couldn't wait for you to finish work before calling me a predator. Harley TBS just sent a friend request to me. So cool. Crystal has officially got CC people to call me a pedophile. Can we call? No. No one in commentary community called you a pedophile, Peaches. No one said that. No one even said you were a fucking groomer. Nobody said that. That is not something that happened. And anybody who did is out of their mind. Okay? I hate this shit. There's so much. I'm going to steal a Google word. There's so much editorializing.
Because that's exactly what Peaches was angry at Crystal for allegedly doing to him, framing Peaches as some sort of sexual predator. But apparently it's fine for him to do it to me. It's also a good time to mention that he leaked that script. This was mostly a vent of a first draft, as it was an extremely close matter. Peaches tossed it out into the public, specifically to harm me, knowing it was a vent and the final script wouldn't be anything like that.
You told me many times.
Oh, so that does explain where the script I read came from. Fuck it, I think it should have been your final script. I think it was funny. I mean, it was fucking insane, but that's why it was funny.
Times that the reason you never had real kids, biological or adopted, was because you knew you would abuse them. If you know this, stop beating down on vulnerable victims of sexual abuse and instead get some goddamn help.
While the rest of this is either outright lies or fabrications, this one stopped me dead in my tracks. What Peaches did here was take something I told him in absolute confidence, alter it, and blast it to the public to do as much damage as possible. I would later find out that he's done worse. But since this is out here now, I have to address it and correct it, knowing full...
Oh fuck, this might be the last chance I ever get to say this. Because I don't know if it will come up again, or I'll think about it, but... One thing I really fucking hate about Lio, like I actually hate this, is, and it's not just Lio, other people do it, they say, oh, we release it to the public. You know, oh, they're blasting us to the public need to know. It's your community. It's not like, you're not a fucking news channel. It's like when you see a streamer with a concurrent concurrent chat of like 5 people, and they're like, "Hey chat," it's like there are 5 people in your chat. You can just say hello to them. Okay, and this ties back to advice I was given when I first started streaming of like, you know, when you start doing it, don't do that. It looks really weird. Wait until you're at the point where you can't start talking to people because of how many people are watching you. That kind of thing. But yeah, it's this thing. You're not a news channel. Please stop calling things releases to the public, and it's just your community. It's just your community. It's really fucking infuriating. It's annoyed me for weeks. And now I just feel better. Okay.
Well, it's going to be weaponized against me by the worst of people. When I was a kid, my old man abused me in every way but sexually. As is normal, I picked up some of his habits and traits, and I've been working to alter them. It's where my authoritative tone and general demeanor comes from. So, like most victims of abuse, I always worried about winding up like the person that abused me. That's one of the reasons why I never had kids. The fear that I'd wind up like him. Not that I magically knew.
We'll do that. I'm less purple now.
Personal, private concerns that I shared with Peaches. Primarily because he pushed me into doing so. As soon as he saw fit.
Are we at the point where Lio shows a clip of the Senate part where the dude has a shotgun, then threatened to kill himself in VC? So I didn't see that bit in this video. I was snoozing so I could get a little bit of sleep, so this wasn't completely fucking all over the place. I have heard that Lio included that. That's interesting. Now, when I heard about that call, when I found out what it was, I said that I wouldn't want to play that on stream. The fact that it still exists, the fact that it's shown is fucking wild, actually. This isn't a judgy thing. It's not like, oh, like Lio shouldn't have done that. But now I am sat there going, oh, fuck. I'm actually interested to hear that. And also, wasn't that a clue to any of you guys that if you're reaching a point where somebody sat in a call with you that with a shotgun threatening to like remove themselves, maybe something's gone seriously fucking wrong with your community.
He turned around and weaponized them against me. This is barely a month after he chose to cut contact with me when he started this. In contrast, if I had done that to Peaches, and he had the screenshots to prove it, how would that look? I'd certainly look like a deplorable, backstabbing individual, wouldn't I? Someone who collects the private information shared by people they claim to be friends with so that they can use it against them later. I also did get some help. I hate having to admit this publicly.
1 second.
In contrast, if I had done that to Peaches, contact with me when he started this. In contrast, if I had done that to Peaches, and he had the screenshots to prove it, how would that look? I'd certainly look like a deplorable, backstabbing individual, wouldn't I? Someone who collects the private information shared by people they claim to be friends with so that they can use it against them later. I also...
Okay, now, it's very early in the morning. I am like 99% sure that there are like 2 instances people have mentioned to me where Lio has done this and used it as blackmail against people. Now, I could be wrong. It's early and it's twigging in my brain and I'm trying to remember everything about this, but I'm pretty sure that is a thing you've done, Lio. I'm pretty sure that was somebody's criticism, that like you gather information on people and then you're like, hey, unless you do what I want, this will come out. In fact, actually, wasn't this like a push like to get certain people in calls? I can't remember whether it was Rin or Jibs who said this, that like the information that was there would be used against them, or their families would be contacted if they didn't do what Lio wanted, or they'd like release it. So you fucking done that? What do you mean? Like, wait, what? Yes, I agree with you, Lio. You're a cunt.
Also did get some help. I hate having to admit this publicly because I'm a private person about things like this, but I'm on medication now and was going to therapy. The only reason it stopped, as far as the therapy goes, was because my therapist stopped taking my insurance, something Peaches knew about. But in one of our last calls, Peaches berated me for not being in therapy anymore, claiming that I said to someone that I got what I needed out of it, which isn't something I actually said. During this call, which is yet another one I didn't know was recorded, Peaches and their friends in their private discords actively mocked my inability to find a therapist. Specifically Lumi, who, despite...
Okay. So, is a licensed clinical social worker and supervisor with 15 years of experience working with preteens, teens, adults, and older adults. Has a warm and friendly... Okay, so yeah. it's almost like the people around you, despite saying all the like, yeah, Lio isn't a private person. He's very, very open. He is open by non-internet standards, right? Like his life is on display. Yeah, like this is the thing that keeps striking me. Everyone keeps like fucking going, we need to use like the right language. We need to not be homophobic. We need to not be racist. We need to not be transphobic. We need to not be ableist. It's like, well, you keep using the language of, you know, the good right terms and phrases, but you guys clearly don't fucking care about this. Like, you don't give a shit. Like, the minute you can weaponize any of this, you instantly do it. I'd be less, like, it's frustrating, because if you were just like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. Like, if someone's, like, mentally disabled and we can bully them, we're still gonna do it. I'd be like, well, like, at least that's honest. You're still assholes, but we're all assholes, that's fine. just be like, yeah, cool. I think, okay, so again, like, the cool Enla referenced, Zach joined that call, and he, like, Zach just, he didn't say much during the call, but one thing he said, well, what hobbies do people have? And I was like, I laugh at people on the internet, because that's my hobby. This is what I do for fun.
Claiming they advocate for mental health would just list Google results for therapists in my area as though it was just that easy. These people don't privately hold the values they espouse publicly. If I wasn't getting...
Okay, but also, Lio, I don't think you do either. I think that's part of the issue. This is why I want Lio to come out and just be like, yeah, I don't fucking care. I just bully people on the internet. Fuck off. Like, just... It would kill half the criticism of you. Like, it really would. It would completely fucking kneecap it if Lio was just like, yeah, I've never really cared. I just used it because I'm a bastard. It's like, well, then people would be like, you're a bastard, but at least, like, all this shit about, like, well, Lio's a caring person. I think as well, like, the shield and bulwark stuff, like, Lio's the defensive and aggressive line. I don't think that's because Lio cared. I think it's because he liked doing that. It was a justification for his actions, which again is fine. Just be fucking honest about it.
Help though, how would this public form of humiliation convince me to do so? None of this makes sense.
Also, stop pretending you care about victims of grooming. You found the information of my groomer, and all you did was use my abuse against me, play it down because it wasn't Joshua Vita, and tell me straight you only desire to make fun of my groomer in a Senate call, not help report his predatory actions. And you blame me, a victim of his, for his potential other predatory actions?
Peaches is outright lying here. When Peaches would tell me about his groomer, I always felt sad for him. The fact that sadness was the emotion I had instead of anger always had Peaches accuse me of not caring what happened to him. As far as his groomer specifically goes, we actively tried to find him, and I could never confirm his location. Something Peaches regularly blamed me for and verbally abused me over. I also never said I just wanted to make fun of him. Since there's little in the way of evidence, the plan was to get him in call and see what he'd admit to, and then
Muted pro streamer. It's very early in the morning. Fuck all of you. Is so far the video good? So far the video is, I'm going to be honest, pretty much what I expected. I mean, there's nothing in this that's a surprise to me. And I know, like, again, I know people have told me things, like information about this video has been leaked. But even without that, I would not be surprised by the things that are in this fucking video.
File a report. Peaches knew this, but would regularly make a claim to the contrary, just like the claim I blamed Peaches for the actions of his groomer. I did not ever do that. So my anger was a problem, but if I wasn't angry enough and focused in the direction Peaches wanted, that was also a problem.
I have deleted everything to be away from you and finally find myself. Respect that. Do not contact me. Age regression, for those who don't know to understand.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, before we hear another fucking statement on age regression, if you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe. When you don't, Jenny hits me. I fuck it. She's really violent, guys. I don't know how long I can keep this up. If you want to press another button, there's the dislike button. That's always a good button as well. Really just pressing things that's all I ask. It's only the little things. That's it. Just press the buttons. Okay, fine. Let's hear about age regression again. I'm so fucking happy. Also, Beckett, check out the newest comments on Liovid. There is one that shows which part is which. Oh, okay, cool. Fuck. I think we're just going through this for the moment. We might watch it at the end. I don't know if we're gonna watch this whole thing tonight. This might be a very rare Beckett breaks down a video in multiple streams. Because there's a lot to go through, okay? And also so much of it's segmented off, it might be easier, but we're gonna try and get through the Peaches part.
Understand this statement, Thomas included apparently, as a trauma response in which the brain shuts down and reverts to an earlier developmental stage. For me, I regress to points around 5 to 10 years old mentally. It is extremely damaging to talk to somebody age regressing in a way you wouldn't talk to an actual child, as it can result
Miss Tipstoe, if my husband spent time exposing this instead of defending it, I would respect him more. Good morning, Miss Tipstoe. Jesus fucking Christ.
in re-traumatizing said regressor. Thomas knew all of this and chose to abuse it.
I always respected it when Peaches wanted distance. He knows this, but he's lying intentionally in order to push a narrative he knows isn't correct. Peaches planned on deleting all of their socials back when the FCK stuff came to light. Him saying it's to get away from me when I respected...
Akumu hasn't come up yet, no. And actually, I will say this. Lio said some nice things about Akumu in this video. He says basically nothing about Gilded, and as far as I'm aware, because no one's DM'd me about it, he says basically nothing. He says nothing about me. I think he takes a small shot at Leia, which is snippy, but what I'd expect, and he takes a larger shot at Kumu. He takes a fairly large shot at Kumu, actually. That's about it. And then the other ones you'd expect: Jordan, Jay, Lumi, like that sort of shit. Who the fuck is messaging me? It's a Saturday. What the fuck is wrong with you?
his distance is just a lie in order to cover his own tracks as he runs away from accountability.
Note, this testimony has nothing to do with Jade and Jordan's claims. I could go into detail about how it is flatly disgusting to knowingly run to Fox Mafia and people who have said /platformed videos saying how I should be sexually assaulted. I cannot comment one way or the other on the specificities of their relationship with Thomas Guerra, as I was never present for it. That being said, I won't just dismiss the fact that Thomas has been an abuser. To the usual suspects who've been stalking me for nearly half a decade now, who will certainly be laughing reading all this, like the last time I was abused, I'm sorry, after 4 years, your only topic is gone now. Hope you find a new way to make rent.
Peaches was present for a lot of it. Maybe not in person, but at least in various calls and details about how things went. The reason he has no evidence of me being an abuser to them and him is simply because I wasn't. And what? You can morally grandstand about people running to Fox Mafia while you're actively lying and revealing personal fears that were revealed to you in private just so you can craft a narrative?
Okay, this doesn't work. I hate this shit. I hate this shit because at the same time, and I know people have disagreed and got annoyed with me over this, I think Peaches is a piece of shit. And to an extent, I've said this publicly, I don't want to just sit here and shit on Lio. I don't. It's fucking I just feel like a broken fucking record. But at the same time, I sit here and I'm like, you do not have the moral high ground. You just don't have it. The things that have been exposed about you, even if you want to make the arguments, well, people have lied about me. People have said these things. There's an additional context. For some of us, there is no additional context you can give for the Jax stuff. I heard somebody say to me, well, you know, Jax came into the Senate and he said these things. Lio said he would turn up at a kid's house, and when the kid wasn't responsive and said that he had firearms, called his fucking school, and Lio defended that. He was like, no, I had to. You threatened to turn up at a 15-year-old's house. I can buy into the narratives here because I agree with Lio from what I have seen based on the evidence. Not Lio's own words. I haven't spoken to him about it. I agree with like many of the narratives Lio has produced, but you can't be like, this is going to be my accountability and apology video, while also going, how dare you emotionally and morally grandstand over me. Like, yes, I said this. Actually, fuck it. I said this in the last stream. If you do this, then the response is going to be that you become less believable. And, like, you could have the best evidence in the world against Kumu. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what's in it. But it's harder to believe you because you're on the attack and so obviously still in that fucking place you were in. It's annoying because, like, again, rolling back, people need to change, people need to grow, people need to become better, but there's no evidence of you doing that when you're making a video defending yourself, attacking Peaches with exactly the same fucking language that you have consistently used, with exactly the same tone. It's just so fucking frustrating. I said to Lio, the reason I wanted to bring Lio on to have the fucking conversation about Peaches is because, and I would have been neutral, and I wouldn't have shouted. I didn't want to talk about the Rosa stuff, didn't want to talk about the Jack stuff, just want to talk about the Peaches stuff, because I think that stuff deserves to be heard. But that is an almost better way to fucking present it, because it's not this. Like, there's so much optical play, and I keep saying this about the Kumu shit. Like, there's stuff there that if Lio wasn't about to go on the attack on Kumu in the latter half of this video, I don't think he would be saying, because it muddies the waters too much, and he's thinking about all these separate fucking things that actually the vast majority of people don't fucking care about. The people who hate Kumu are going to continue hating Kumu. The people who are neutral are going to continue to be neutral and vaguely care and so or not, but getting involved in a whole nother drama involving Kumu and what he's done probably isn't content many people are looking to make right now. People are actually, from a content creator perspective, I feel burnt out. I feel fucking burnt out. So, like, I don't understand the utility. And on the other side, no one, it's gonna fucking believe you. So why do it? It's just I want to claw out my eyes. Fuck. Okay, like, hopefully when Lio does calls with people, it'll be more illuminating. I hope that when Lio has had these conversations, when Lio's had these conversations tonight in his own server that's been opened up, isn't it interesting how things like the Supreme Court repeat? Because this is exactly what happened the day the Supreme Court became public and everyone could join. We'll have calls, we'll discuss things, we'll jump on it. It's like time is a flat circle and I'm trapped here with a fucking chat full of people who are also trapped and tired and angry, and I just wanted to sleep. I wanted to play Remnant from the Ashes 2 with my friend Core, and then all this happened, and Lio, I fucking blame you for it. It's going on the list.
Damning enough to make yourself look like a victim so you can scamper off without judgment or accountability? Oddly enough, because Peaches wants to be petty when people can't fire back, he directs the last part of the doc to the real reason he deleted everything. While the initial docs and posts say this isn't some sort of cancellation attempt, the fact that Peaches added this says their intentions pretty clearly. Of course, Peaches never thought about how this will affect people outside of himself, like always. So, now I'm dealing with victims being used against their will as a weapon against me.
Sorry, Cole, we will do it. We will do it next week, Cole. I love you, buddy.
Question, as well as my friends getting regular threats of different varieties. It also puts the people I've helped into an awful mental position, questioning if they trusted the right person or feeling I may lash out at them even though I haven't before. But Peaches totally cares about others, right? There's a lot about Peaches and I that I really need to go over so people will fully understand what was going on behind the scenes. That's going to be addressed in its own section. For now though, we'll move on to the others. This is an interview with a former family member named Jay. Jay came onto the scene in 2021 and quickly clung to the family dynamic. Jay temporarily moved in with the wife, Jordan and I, in 2023 with plans of moving her in.
Okay. Look. There is a lot to go over here. One thing I'm going to do is I just want to go to the video and see the timestamps. Because... Hi. Where is it? Okay, and the unedited Kumu cutting video... Interesting, because I mean, like... Okay, I found that. Oh my god. Okay, where's like the... Gee, hold on, I've got some useful timestamps. Fuck. Do we just go through the call? Do we just go through the call and see where we are? And see, like, give me a second, I just need to have a read of something. So where we're at is around here. Somebody was very good and did some timestamps for me, and they're actually really, really good. God. Okay. God, there's so much in this video. Okay, fuck it. We're just going to carry on. We're going to do it in order. We're going to do it in order. We're going to go until I can't go anymore. We are like an hour into this, so maybe we'll do another hour, half an hour to an hour. That's then see how I feel. See if click newest comment. Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that. Newest first. Don't know if that'll help me. Right, here we go. Addressing the allegations made by Hopeless Peaches, yada yada yada. Addressing the allegations made by Dre. Addressing Patchwork Heart's response. Addressing allegations made by Jordan. God, the J stuff lasts like an hour. Christ. Jordan and calling him out for abhorrent behavior. My faults. I think we'll do that as a separate section. Kumu. Gilded Poo. Gilded Poo's section lasts like nothing. It's not even a Beckett section. I'm going to keep harping on it, but I'm actually not that bad. Yeah, fuck it. We'll make a start. Oh, fuck. Can I do another hour of this call? Yeah, fuck it. Whatever.
With her boyfriend. While her boyfriend and I just wanted her to go straight there, she chose to come here instead. Jay was dismissed from the family in December, and within that month went to move in with her boyfriend. She was dismissed due to never taking proper accountability for her actions with Peaches in February of 2023, and for essentially using the wife and I as free room and board, which included us taking care of both their cats during that time with no consideration.
I just want to know how many cats he has. This has become such a fucking meme. Right, okay. Secondly, you put yourself in this position, Lio. You didn't have to invite anyone to your home. You didn't have to take anyone in. Like, yes, yeah, sure. If you want to make the claim that people abuse the kindness of a stranger, I can take that charitable interpretation, but you are a man in his mid to late 30s around this time. Why the fuck didn't you know better? Fuck, I wouldn't invite a random person to live in my house. Are you like that I met on the internet? Are you kidding me? Listen, another story. One of my really good friends who's a Norwegian, we met through a World of Warcraft guild. This is years ago. But the first time we ever hung out, he was like, you need to understand, Beckett, that people aren't necessarily going to want to tell you about their lives. They're not going to want to be open with you. Because I was pretty open with this guild. And then about a week later, he was having a bad week. We'd got to know each other. I invited him to Britain as like, come have a holiday as a bit of a joke. You know, you can come over whenever. And he was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll come over. And he came over. But you know what both of us fucking did? We both gave the contact information of each other to our friends and family in case anything happened. We were like, well, what if this insane person's on the internet? Now, he's really cool. He's been a friend for years. We still hang out very regularly. But you know, you think about these things, and even then I recognize that as an insane decision to make. Watching Norwegians are based, it's alright.
From her concerning their health or monetary needs. Jay decided to piggyback off Jordan's claims and also yapping to Cooper.
Yeah, Maya, the Harley video came out. It's just the Rosa cool and disavowing Peaches. Everyone wants a piece, everyone wants to save their skin. Same story, different fucking day.
This isn't new behavior for her, by the way. When she broke up with Just a Robot in 2018, she attempted to cozy up to Ponder, subtly pressing the potential for a video to be made. Ponder tried to placate Jay while they were venting, but had no intentions of ever taking up the suggestion, as Ponder isn't interested in making videos calling someone out for personal relationship problems. This is actually why Jay came to Senate in the first place, trying to get me to go after Jar as well. I'm stating this so you're all aware that this isn't new for her. She just finally found someone dumb enough to do the work for her.
So back to actually just sort of a follow-up on your first impressions of Lio when you first met him. Do you have any comments on his appearance, his hygiene, his manners?
I found it so weird that he included this. And I wonder whether this really fucking got to Lio. I feel like this part of the interview in particular just really fucking annoyed him.
His attitude, etc.
To really get into how I felt about what he looked like and how he really was in person. All I can say is one word. Disgusting. And I don't like saying that in a really
he looked like he lived in a swamp. Like, this is so dumb.
Mean way, but he really needs help with that. And again, not trying to be a dick.
I'm not trying to be a dick, but he smelled like shit and he looked like crap. Poor Lio. Oh. Wonder why he won't talk to me.
It smells like he hadn't taken a shower in weeks. When he wears black shirts, you can see, like, it looks like snow is on his shoulders. And that's really gross.
You play this in full, Lio. I can't believe it.
I know that
fair play. Brave choice.
He's working every day, so I don't entirely blame him, but there's always time for hygiene. Him as a person, he's very extroverted online, but introverted in person. Which means he stays in his office all day, and he would just stay in there and work on his figures all day, and it was to a point where
He's just like me, for real. Oh god, no, I'm kidding. I touch grass, I go outside, it's all good. Fuck. Listen. Just have a wash every day. Take some time out. Make it a thing you enjoy. I love having a bath every day. It's great. Sit there, bubbles, a little bit of music, calm. Does you the world of both physical and mental good, okay? You like it. Don't be like one of those fucking cats that's scared of water. Water's nice. Chill out. Just enjoy it. Fucking weirdos. Don't even know who I'm talking to.
Really think to myself when I officially moved with him, and I was like, holy shit, did I just make the biggest mistake of my life? Because I had friends, I had family back where I lived, and yeah, there was a bit of me that was like, oh, I hate my job, but in reality, me moving in with him and realizing who he really was the biggest mistake I've made by far.
Firstly, if we're talking about serious accusations of abuse, what does hygiene have to do with it? Jay's complaints here not only come from a lack of understanding reality, like the fact that I work a manual labor job that was in the middle of the summer, and Jay only saw me after work, but it highlights that Jay, and by extension Kumo's intent, is to gather as many unrelated issues as possible to humiliate me, rather than address this very serious accusations of abuse. So whatever nonsense Jay is saying about hygiene is irrelevant at best, and projection...
Then why would you play it? Because you were okay. No, that's unfair. That's me being purposefully obtuse. Because what you're trying to paint is the fact that the interview against you was a hit job, which sure you can say that. That's fine. But you're talking about, like, what's a good way to put this? The way Lio attacks people is very personal. It is towards their intelligence, their friends, their adult status. You can hear him doing this a lot. Their like righteousness, their morals, their ethics. Some of these are relevant. Some of these are just mean. Like you can see this in like how he breaks people down. But like I think there is a potential relevance there. Because, like, one of the things that like, Gilded and I say is, like, you know, this is the person who's been bullying everyone. It's Lio. That's fucking wild. I want to be clear as well. Like, if I'm mean to you, and you're like, that Ed Sheeran-looking British motherfucker laughed at me and said mean things. Guys, I'm a twat. I'm a random dude. Why do you care? Okay, like clearly I have nothing better to do with my free time than invest it into laughing at pointless shit on the internet. You have a duty to not be bullied by the chess club, and while I will defend that I am not part of the chess club, still, man, come on, like, pull yourself together. Fuck. And this is the point with Lio. Despite the projection of the image, it doesn't match up to the reality, and it's important. I think it's helpful to point out that this big scary person is the dude who mostly spends his time locked away in an office alone, building action figures. And that's not somebody to be fearful of. That's somebody who you should be like, dude, do you want to... Do you want to go to the pub, like, and maybe get out and do something? Is everything okay? Can we check in on you? Fuck.
At worst. When it comes to being in my office, no, it's not messing with figures, and Jay knows that. During the time Jay lived with me, often I was working on my secondary job with an indie comic company, and I can't exactly do that sitting in the living room. The tablet I have is an XP Pen 22, not an iPad. My office was always open to Jay.
This is an Linkarism, by the way. This is a Linkarism. Here are all the incredibly autistically detailed reasons why I do what I do. No one cares. No one cares. No one fucking cares.
And she knew that. The option's always been there, though I'm sorry if it wasn't communicated clearly enough.
Have you ever seen Thomas attempt to adopt anyone else, either online or offline?
Seeing him try to adopt anybody else, I don't entirely think so, aside from Hopeless Peaches. I'd never seen him try and comfort anybody in the way that he does with her, or anything in that manner. Personally, I have not seen it. He has not been a very kind person lately. So,
fucking lately, sorry. Needless job.
In the grand scheme of things, to answer your question bluntly, aside from Hopeless Peaches, no.
I showed Jay and the others the same amount of kindness that I did Peaches. You can see this through our text.
No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. Actually, shut the fuck up. No, you didn't. You did not. You were way more fucking understanding of Peaches. You've just done an entire section of this fucking video talking about how much shit you put up with Peaches that you did not put up with from Jordan, you did not put up with from Jay, that you did not put up with from Opal. You called them on their shit way fucking more. We've just done an hour on that. Why would you say that? It's fucking... No! That's so obviously not true. Fucking... Are you kidding me? Lio, and this is the frustration with Lio. You do not need to present yourself perfectly in every fucking situation. You don't need to do it. Stop doing it. I'm not perfect, guys. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I'm flawed. True, but here are all the ways that I am definitely not flawed, and anybody who says that I am is a fucking liar. Like, dude, you're contradicting yourself. Jesus Christ. Fuck.
Well, the failure here wasn't on my end. I housed and took care of Jay with whatever she needed. How she doesn't see that as kindness, I'll never know.
Did Lio ever approach you with the idea of...
That's not, also, not to say that you're not kind. Not to say that you've not... Okay, actual fucking... Not to say that you've not done kind things. But as previously discussed, these are not fully altruistic. They are not out of purely the goodness of your own heart. They are done out of what you want out of this situation. You want to have that family unit, which is fine. That's fine. That's okay. But it's not altruistic. It's not, I'm doing this purely because I'm a good person. At the same time, there is a difference between going, hey, I've done all these things for you. That makes me a good person. And you would have done that for Peaches. You would have done more for Peaches. If Peaches was like, I need to move to America and live in your house, you would have let Peaches do that, and you would have let him do that with far less of the pushback than any of the other people in your family unit. Oh, I hate saying that. Received. That is a reality. We can see it from the logs. We can see it from what you yourself are fucking saying.
He didn't approach me with the idea of moving in with him. I think I was in a moment of desperation to say, I would love to be here. I would love to be around you guys more often. And it's like, I want to stay, because there was a lot of good that I was seeing, but I was not prepared for the bad. Do you know how people say it's
Oh god, it sounds like a fucking police procedural documentary. We never knew that he had a load of heads in his fucking freezer. We had no idea. It was fucking wild. We saw him carrying, you know, like bowling ball shaped things in, dripping with blood, but heads? Wild. Fuck's sake.
like you got the good, the bad, and the ugly. I was around all three. With Lyle. He did.
Also, I need to pause a second and stand up for a fellow dyslexic in the chat. This is a typo-friendly zone. Anybody bullying you for your spelling will get called out. I will call out. I won't, because I won't see it. I won't pay that much attention. But you be proud, okay? I can't spell either. Just embrace it. Embrace the meme. My dyslexic brethren.
The idea he did kind of like
Don't give in to the ableism.
when it came to that. And he kept asking and asking and asking. And yeah, I was procrastinating because I was dealing with a lot of mental and medical issues. There were many reasons as to why I shouldn't have moved. But what was going on with Peaches was probably the biggest part of me regretting what I said back then. I don't think that there was a lot of hope for our relationship to have mended. So I was wanting to really backpedal and be like, I can't do this. So, I hope that answers your question.
Jay wasn't pushed towards coming here. In fact, in the text you'll see here, I make it clear that she can take her time in actually coming down. The only pushing done was reminding Jay to not build up a life in a place she wasn't planning on staying in.
Alright, what made the idea of adoption so appealing to you?
The idea of adoption was... It kind of came out of nowhere. Because I had as I said, I had a weird relationship with my parents. My mom was very strict growing up, and my dad was a raging alcoholic. I didn't have really much of a good relationship, but they weren't entirely bad either. I used to live close to my dad, actually.
Okay, I'm actually losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. If there's anything in the J. Crawl that's interesting, we may come back to it, but I can't. It's too early in the morning. I can feel like it's putting me to sleep. God knows how you fucking feel, and there's only so much, like, shouting I can do before someone fucking... My neighbors are like, this person's being murdered. Right, okay. Let's go to... Fuck it, let's go here.
Patchwork
I will readjust the volume.
Hart is a former associate of mine, a person I've helped multiple times through several struggles of theirs.
Let's talk about Patchwork, because that's a nice break. Okay, listen, I tried. Lio, I'm going to be honest. If I, as somebody who cares about covering you and is frankly, let's be honest, farming the content for it, we know where we are. Cannot get through your fucking J section, and it's like an hour long. Maybe like because Lio's doing this because he wants to hit back at every fucking accusation, all of them, every single one. Then why is it so fucking boring? God damn it. Lio says he's going to apologize for things he's done at the beginning of the video and waits until the end where he smears Rosa and Jax further by apologizing to YouTubers that can call him out. Yeah, well, fucking, I'm shocked. Shocked to my core. Beckett, Lio is using the script you read with Patchwork. How intriguing. Wait. Is the shotgun call? I guess that's what we're calling it in the J section. Someone find me a timestamp for the shotgun call or something. I don't fucking know.
Financial, emotional, even social. However, the moment they heard something bad about me, even with no evidence, they sent me a message on Discord in the most dramatic way.
Thomas, what in the 9 hells has happened from Patchwork? Lio, in relation to what? Crook told me everything. Thomas, I talked to Jordan. Crook doesn't know anything. What in Yahweh's name have you done? I haven't done anything. You are not my brother. I don't recognize you anymore, Thomas. Call me, because you're honestly being lied to. No. I want nothing to do with this or you anymore. I wash my hands of this. May your God have mercy on you, Thomas, because mine won't. Fuck. Listen, Patch is fucking crazy, but I do love Patch's messages. They're fantastic. Oh, brighten the day.
possible, refused to hear my side of the situation, then published this video. So let's get into it.
The assertions as they have been made are thus: verbal abuse, gaslighting, intimidation, favoritism, emotional invalidation, and even disowning his children for not getting along with hopeless Peaches, his last remaining daughter.
I find it interesting that Patch will make a video on me based on allegations, not facts, just statements. Meanwhile, in the past, they've not done that. One example is the Piss Gremlin with this famous clip.
I said that I apologize to Anthony for you falsely accusing him of
Oh, I never said that. I never said
yes,
that.
you did, and Vita and I both have proof that you said that he might have given you STDs and he might have gotten you pregnant.
What is this? Fuck. Okay, so I've got a stream knocking around. We might do this. We might do this when all the fucking... When the end times have ended, I've got 2 streams that I've been meaning to watch from Barrel Days. One of which I believe does involve buttons of her screaming, delete the stream, delete the stream, delete the stream, and another one is something to do with someone named Squid, which people keep telling me to watch and I've never got round to. So we'll do those, but Jesus fucking Christ. No wonder this ended up in court. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
Might have.
That's an accusation.
Yeah, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. What I said is my friend asked me one day with certain situations if a certain position happened. I'm not going to get into the details, and I said my friend had me get a pregnancy test just in case, and I didn't know. But that's not a lie.
You went on a tirade trying to ruin FNGR's reputation with accusations of sexual assault and sexual manipulation.
Yeah, and he and I fixed it.
Yeah, but it was still horse that I believed.
It was.
I believe you.
I believe.
Patches, you believe everything. Shut the fuck up. Cut. Last time I had Patches on, Patches said, I know that you'll call me cringe behind my back. And I said, and I mean it, I will call you cringe to your face. Anything that I say privately, I will say publicly, okay? If anyone's like, Beckett, you said I was an asshole. Yes, I did. And I fucking meant it.
I believe you too!
So believing someone
way ahead of you, Basilisk.
in-person assault isn't enough to make a video on the alleged offender, but making a video of an allegation of a much lower caliber is enough? Maybe Patch has changed their stance since then, but I find it hard to believe at this point.
When I was shown these allegations by a friend of mine who knew me back in my own pred hunting days, I nearly broke apart at the seams.
Oh my fucking god.
I reached out to Jordan, with whom I had always endeavored to be a supportive uncle for, and he admitted that he had been afraid to tell me the way his so-called father was treating him. I have met Jordan in real life a few times. I have had the blessing to hug that boy and tell him in person how much he means to me. A boy who I adore, who I would go to jail for.
What the fuck does that mean? Anyone who can watch this whole ass video are psychopaths? I don't know. If we don't get through all of it, I'm really tempted to drag in Chris the Narc. And suffer with me.
He knows this. He knows I would do anything for him and his siblings, especially him and Opal, who I have known the longest.
Thanks for letting everyone know right out the gate that you can't be objective, Patch. Look, I get when people are wrapped around a situation or the people they're in, but coming out and making these statements when you have zero evidence is asinine. See, I know this because Jordan stated in a call I was past that they never actually even talked to Pat.
They are claiming is verbal and psychological abuse. Fucking Patch is claiming it. And Patch is in direct contact with you. You have seen them in real life, to what I know. And they are using...
Why does this one get a blank screen? I feel like I know I'm picking at like consistency, but I'm just like, that's just weird. That's just fucking weird.
They are using you as the main reason as to why they are no longer speaking to Lio because of the conversations that you two had. Okay? They are claiming that you have been abused publicly.
because of the conversations me and Patch had?
Yeah.
I haven't talked to Patch for well over a year.
Yeah, well, of course Lio's not objective. Like, fuck, oh my god. Fuck, is it really, I don't think I've really heard Lio apologize for shit. Maybe about the jib stuff. Maybe about, like, not changing fast enough. I don't know. Like, it doesn't... This doesn't feel like an apology and accountability video. And that's fine. If Lio doesn't want to make an apology and accountability video, and I would once again encourage anybody ever who is in internet drama, never apologize. Never apologize. It is almost always the wrong fucking decision to apologize. Like, unironically, because the people who are attacking you don't want you to be sorry. They want you to be fucking broken. So being like, oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry, just gives them permission to go even harder. That's all it is. So, like, if he doesn't want to do that, fine. But just say that. Just say this isn't an accountability video. Fuck you, because that's clearly what this is.
Until this. They commented on my post, and that's about it.
Jordan, they made a video that I'm pretty sure you retweeted.
I did, but, like, we hadn't been in contact until all of this shit went down.
I'm not saying... I don't even know what you're saying right now. What I'm saying...
Becca, Opal recorded that call with Jordan without their consent. I mean, fuck it. At this point, every call is recorded without consent. I think we're past that point. I think we're past that point, Goblin. None of this is with consent. God.
Saying is, Patch has said that what Lio has done is abusive and have used your conversation as a recounting of it, of you talking to them, saying how you were scared about, like, going public and all of this and all, like, all of this shit.
Oh, okay, that part. Okay, I was confused. I thought you meant that I had been talking to Patch and that's...
No, not a recording, not a screenshot. I'm saying they are using their account of what your conversation was with them as, for lack of a better term, evidence against Lio.
Patch is overstating what type of conversation was even had.
I have always been their biggest cheerleader, and even knowing that I would move mountains for him, Jordan was too scared of Thomas to tell me.
Why is this? Why? Oh, fucking, I said this at the time. It's so cringe. It's such a cringe video. Why did you do this? Why would anyone do this?
I'm not just an uncle, I'm a father myself. I have a daughter named Forrest, who is just about Jordan's age.
Yes, Patch, your kid that you let move in with someone you knew had a sexually abusive past. That being Blake Diamond. While he lied to you about the exact details, it was still something you knew.
The amount of times Yodi had to talk me down.
Why? Who is this for? Who is this for? Who is seriously defending Patchwork? Other than calling you out? Who is looking at, like, we've just had the whole Xena and Poppy shit. Who seriously looks at Patchwork in any of these fucking communities and is defending them? And the people who are defending them, again, are so dedicated to that side, there is nothing you can say to convince them. Who is this for? I don't know why you've done this. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it so much. Fuck.
From driving to Washington and beating your face in myself!
Oh my god.
You convinced me that you were getting better, that you regretted what you did in high school, that you knew you needed help!
I do regret it! I do know that I need
to put your hands on her when she told you no!
And you saw no issue with.
I took her in a very long time ago. When her biological parents...
I'm sorry. Just so we're fucking clear about this. Just so we're clear about this, because I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. This whole second stage of this drama erupted out of fucking, like, Peaches and Lumi releasing the fucking Jibs call and without consent, dragging in somebody as an example that was nothing to do with anything, and now you are weaponizing a call on a completely separate fucking drama to discredit Patchwork to an audience that may or is very probably not fucking aware of it. Like, what? Like, even if you're like, that's not necessary. Like, this is the sign that you haven't changed. And again, I'm not asking for accountability because I don't fucking care. It's just frustrating that you keep claiming that you're changed, that this is your apology, that this is your acknowledgement that something's wrong, and then you're doing not just the same shit as always, but literally the same fucking shit that you're criticizing Peaches for. Even my computer can't take it. My computer can't fucking take it. My computer's had enough. Let me fix my fucking camera. Christ. Oh. I just... Oh. Are you gonna work for me? Are you gonna work for me now? Are you gonna work? That would be nice if you could work. I'd be really pleased. I'd be really pleased if you could fucking work. I'm just fucking... I hate this. I hate it so much. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Deactivate. And activate. There we go. Okay. Give me a second. Let me just fucking fix this. Every time. I don't know who made the decision to reload all the fucking stats off the fucking, like, camera I use, but I hate it. I do hate it. I do. It does annoy me. It legitimately does. We'll drop that down a little bit. There we go. And we'll mess with you as well. That is way too dark. Okay, cool. I hate everything. I hate everything. There we go. And there we go. And that's probably good. It's probably good. Fuck with saturation a little bit. There we go. Cool. Right. Fuck. I needed that. I needed that break. Am I wrong? I mean, it feels like the same shit over and over and over again. Fuck, let's just continue. Why? Why do this? Why do this? Like, Lio, I so just want to go, yeah, based. Good, like, fucking tear Peaches apart. I so wanted to do that. I really did. It would have annoyed people, but that's what I really wanted, because I am bored of this endless fucking cycle that I feel like I'm now invested in.
Parents were neglecting her emotionally, psychologically, and even physically in some ways.
I want to respond to one thing from chat. Deep Sea Monster. You and your friends, obviously not referring to me, Lio and his friends allowed a Discord to remain hidden where they exposed kids to porn and groomed them. You hid these logs for fucking years and actively defended the people who were in there. Okay, so from what I can tell, Lio didn't know because Lio didn't go looking. And he believed his friends when they told him there was nothing to look for. Some of those people are the people who are working with him. Doodle Tones is releasing a video. Doodle Tones was fully fucking aware of what was happening on those servers because Doodle Tones was talking about dramas around that time involving Toby. Like, Doodles must have been aware, or at least had inklings. So yes, things were fucking covered up. It's not enough for Lio at the end of this video to say, I just need them to be better. I just need them to change. And they seem to be doing that. What more can I do? I don't know, Lio. Your whole thing is fucking accountability. You need to hold people to account because then they change, then they get better, and you haven't done that. So like, why the fuck would they? I was toning the majority of the video is so gross. Honestly, I just like it's just annoying. It's exactly what I expected, and I so fucking wanted it to be something else. And look, I know that there are plenty of people waiting for the like Lio needs to be held to account, Lio needs to be taken down, all this kind of shit. I'm not one of them. I just want some content that doesn't make me do this. Fuck. Akumu went to him about those logs 2 years ago. Yeah, but at the same time, like, he had no reason to believe it. Like, we're not re-investigating this. I can understand why Lio didn't believe Akumu. I'm not excusing it. I can just understand it. So the claim that he's, like, covering, I think, again, I want to be good faith. I don't like this whole, well, we hate Lio, so we can throw everything at him. I think it is a bad way to do things, because then it is really easy to discredit the side that is attacking Lio, because he doesn't have to focus on any of the criticisms. He just has to focus on the weakest links. Your job, if you like, when criticizing somebody in a drama like this, is to like knock out those weak chains. Anything that's too weak, you don't talk about, you don't bring it up, you don't use until you have a reason to use it. I've had this with other dramas. There was something incredibly fucking juicy, incredibly incendiary with another drama, and I looked at it. I actually went to another larger YouTuber and was like, what do you think? And he turned to me and said, I can see why you want to talk about this, but how much can you prove about like the certain person knowing about this? And secondly, how do you frame your smoking gun? And it's really important you fucking do that. And when you don't, it's really easy for the other side to be like, yeah, well, they called Peaches a groomer because these people will lie and reframe things, because that's how they get out of it. So be careful with what you say.
When her ex-boyfriend was abusing her, I took a train all the way to Seattle to confront Blake and help Forrest and her then-partner Digi escape. I would do anything for my daughter. She's a published author and an amazing young woman who makes me insanely proud. And is not only Thomas's brother, but as a fellow parent, I am repulsed by what he has done here. You made a promise to be these kids' father, but you don't know what being a parent is.
Sacrifice?
Thomas? Being a father is staying up until 4 in the morning because your kid had another nightmare or PTSD episode and they need you to hold them until the fear passes. Being a father is learning all your kids' safe foods because they're autistic and have texture issues, and if they don't have safe foods in the house, they might not eat at all. Being a father is teaching your child that it's okay to have emotions and be emotional, but also teaching them how to regulate those feelings and not let those emotions rule their heart and their choices. Helping them learn how to file taxes or change a flat tire. It's teaching your daughter how to throw a punch, teaching your son gun safety. It's dancing at your child's wedding and holding a funeral for their fucking childhood dog if they ask you. But more than anything, fatherhood is sacrifice. Because kids aren't supposed to be obedient, or pliable, or grateful. Kids are supposed to eat your food, break your heart, make mistakes, and hopefully, with your help, become a person who leaves the world better than it was when they came into it. You're not a father.
Lio apologized multiple times in a call. This is me reading out jibs, by the way. Though personally, I don't accept it until I see clear evidence that he has improved and stopped his old behavior. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I would actually say, and it's a weird one, never apologize on the internet. I just said this earlier. And with that in mind, I don't think Lio needs to go around and apologize to everybody. It'd be nice if he did. I don't think he does. I think he just needs to like change the behavior on the accountability side. Now again, I don't think he'll do that. I don't particularly care, but I'm just saying I think that that's a good standard to have. Okay, like dragging people up and being like, you never apologized for this thing like 2 years ago. If they've changed, who fucking cares? My issue with Doodles and Nezzy and the stuff around the SCK is I don't see any evidence of change, so I think it's absolutely still fine to fucking laugh at them. I mean, Doodle Tones is an exception, actually. I don't think Doodles can do anything where I would not want to laugh at Doodle Tones. It's Doodle Tones.
Father, Thomas.
Patch here is essentially trying to pull themselves up as though they're the superior parent, all while framing the actions primarily around how you deal with a minor. But since they want to try that, we can. I opened my home to these people rent-free, took care of their pets, devoted my time to them when they were mentally unwell, and did everything to help them, even when I wasn't fully versed in how to do so. Meanwhile,
I hate this argument. I wasn't well versed to help them, but I did try. I'm like, okay, cool. If you've got somebody lactose intolerant and all you do is feed them milk, and then you're like, yeah, but I did feed them the milk. It's not my fault that I didn't know. Like, do you not think that you might be the wrong person in that position? And the fact that you put yourself in the position in the first place is part of the fucking problem? The fuck?
what did Patch do? Patch let their family move in with a sexual deviant, and when things got ugly, resorted to making goofy threats with a friend of theirs, citing to defeat some sort of alien Hitler. Stated here.
The entirety here, I'll go ahead and give you a real quick overview. The national trafficking isn't going to care about some random threat of pimping but without showing proper intent. And just to put a TLDR here, and I'm trying as hard as I can not to be offensive when I say this, but having screen caps of somebody saying that they fought alien Hitler, the cops are just going to think that this is make-believe.
It's almost like a Mama Max reference. What's that? You found a cult of vampire werewolf sex fiends? Well, that sounds fucking crazy. Like, yeah, man, come on. No one's gonna buy that shit. Come the fuck on. I think, do you know what? Ever since I watched some Mama Max stuff, I kind of think if you want to hide that you're an abuser, like, hide it in the most absurd way. So when you go to the police or jury, they're just like, yeah, this sounds fucking like lunacy. No way you'll get convicted on it.
Ozzy's dissociative identity disorder is formally documented.
I get that, but
Dave is a fictive interject. It is complicated.
I know it's complicated. My point is the police aren't going to care about that. They're just going to see that.
That wasn't one of the documents sent to the police. That is a separate folder that I have privately.
Patch and their crew were too busy making crazy Google Docs and having LARP battles with Blake to get business done. Which is why it felt to me like it always did when Patch was involved. No, Patch, you don't get to try and run victory laps while not mentioning your shortcomings.
Additionally, this impropriety you have with Rose is appalling, Thomas. Cooing at a 24-year-old woman like she's 9 in front of strangers on livestream. Actively keeping her past of misconduct from the public, a luxury you never afforded Jordan.
Hold on, what's this?
Victory laps while not mentioning your shortcomings.
Additionally, this impropriety...
Just so we're clear, that is what this video is from Lio. Like, you're like, oh, well, Patch, I can't believe you're throwing shade at me. Where's your accountability? Lio, so far in this video, there is very little in the way of accountability. This is a fucking attack video, which again, fine. It's just weird the level of sort of disconnect that Lio seems to have from what he himself is saying and making. You should stream about Mama Max. Honestly, he would be writing your book. No, I'm good. I had the opportunity to stream about Mama Max. I actually, like, obviously people know I'm friends with Xylee, I'm friends with lots of people in, like, commentary generally. I had the inside line on plenty of Mama Max stuff and chose not to do it. I tend not to jump on bandwagons very often. I need a bit of a reason to be invested, which grows over time. And frankly, Mama Max is, I don't know, it's done. Let the people who've killed doing it continue to do so. Like, fucking Diorio's video is just fucking masterly.
You have with Rose is appalling, Thomas. Cooing at a 24-year-old woman like she's 9 in front of strangers on livestream.
With Rose? What the fuck? Is my brain breaking?
Appalling, Thomas. cooing at a 24-year-old woman like she's 9 in...
Wait, okay. Okay, it's Aaron. Okay. Sure, okay.
front of strangers on live stream, actively keeping her past of misconduct from the public, a luxury you never afforded Jordan, by the way.
I didn't hide anything. Not that Patch would know. But they can't do dramatic grandstands if they had a real conversation, could they? We'll talk about the FCK stuff later, but I want to hammer something in. If the others do have things
all I have heard him talk about with the FCK stuff, and I could be very wrong here because again I was drifting in and out of consciousness, it is pretty minor. It's like, oh, you know, there were things there that I wasn't aware of, people have changed. It's barely anything. And I mean, this is why that fucking Excel spreadsheet was leaked to me, because the person who leaked it was like, this is really bad and I feel like it'll never be talked about. And again, if Lio doesn't want to talk about it, that's fine. Just be like, I don't want to talk about the FCK. I'm at the point where I'm never going to do predator hunting again. I don't care anymore. And Akumu was right. Because Akumu was fucking right, okay?
hiding.
Christ.
How would Patch know? But let me get into the thing that pisses me off. Patch, you have zero right to make claims of infidelity against me. Not only because there's no evidence of it, because it didn't happen, but also because of your willful affair with Lily Orchard.
I'm sorry. Okay, firstly, we'll get to that in a second. But secondly, is the music Lio playing in the background, does that include the screams of women? What is this soundtrack? What the fuck? It's just like an upbeat jazzy music in every... Why? Fucking what? Oh my god, I don't want to talk about the Lily stuff. Fuck, I've hit the point where I don't want to talk about Lily stuff. Oh god. It's fucking terminal.
And yes, I know Lily coerced you into doing certain art, but they can't coerce you into an affair. That was a 100% willful choice on your end.
What in the 9 circles of hell is wrong with you? You literally, on a live stream, humiliated Jordan with Vida and Jace for being repeatedly targeted by pedophiles when he was a child. Something I disagreed with then and still disagree with now.
I won't deny that I was out of line in that stream. However, for all of Patch's posturing now, there was none of it in the live chat during the stream or in the comments section. Patch is only dragging this out now because they need straws to grasp.
Hold on.
Disagreed with then and humiliated Jordan with Vida and Jace for being repeatedly targeted by pedophiles when he was a child. Something I disagreed with then and still
Okay, yeah, that was the fucking watch stream or whatever the fuck his name was. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a weird stream. Dragging on and like somebody who you like again think is being groomed to talk about their groomer on a fucking live stream is fucking wild. And this isn't me this isn't me posturing, by the way. I have said this before. In fact, the earliest controversy I was in was over something like this happening, and I told someone to delete their fucking channel. Now, I've changed and grown as a content creator. I probably wouldn't tell someone to delete their channel now. But yeah, I think that's fucking wild. Why would you do that? Holy fuck.
Disagree with now.
I won't deny that I was out of line in that stream. However, for all of Patch's posturing now, there was none of it in the live chat during the stream or in the comments section. Patch is only dragging this out now because they need straws to grasp at. This is also something I had long since apologized to Jordan for. Multiple times.
And now, you hide screenshots of Peaches doing far worse for months. You will humiliate and shame a child for things they can't control, but shield a fully grown adult woman from the consequences of her actions.
Here we can see that Patch doesn't even have a clue about what's going on. And why would they? That would take actually looking into things instead of rushing off to make a video on impulse. If Patch is so condemning...
Patches is only dragging this out now because they need straws to grasp, like Lio dragging out the Orchard affair. Well, yeah, I mean, because this is a fucking hit piece, okay? We know what this is. This isn't an accountability and apology video. Again, I don't mind that. It's just that's not what this is.
Of someone not having a filter around kids, I wonder when they'll make a video on themselves.
What am I meant to do with that, Thomas? Where is the man who encouraged me to publicly take accountability for everything that I had done.
Can somebody give context to the Lily affair? I feel like Lio is making up bullshit, and I don't know much about it. Okay, let me put it this way. It is very, very weird to go into, depending on which side you fall on, and I really don't want to get involved in it. Patches is either a victim or, like, an enabler of Lily Orchard. Yeah, it was really fucked up. Depends how competent you think Patches is mentally for a lot of people. I've never dug into it because, frankly, I have this kind of general thing of I don't like taking random shots across the bow, and when it comes to Lily Orchard, there's so much really specific shit to go into. It's kind of not worth it, and it's just a headache. But yeah, like Patches, I believe, created zoophilia art for Lily on request. Patch's argument is that they were pressured into this. And again, that's why it depends how competent you believe Patch is. Because Patch is crazy. Like, so I don't want to land either which way. Just because I don't want to get involved in it. Basically, I have my own opinions. If that helps. And they're, well, looking at my content, they're probably what you'd expect them to be.
The mistakes that I had made when I was in...
It's the screaming of fucking women. Why?
Police, forgetting to censor certain screenshots before I published them, or getting too personal with cases and getting too emotionally involved. Where's the man who helped me take accountability for the art that I was coerced into making?
Oh, okay. Coerced. It happens all the time. You're wandering down the street and somebody's like, hey, can you hold this pen and this canvas and scribble a bit? And just draw whatever comes to mind, and then you accidentally draw zoophilia pornography. Happens to the best of us, Patch. Jesus fucking Christ.
Where's that man? I don't see him.
Still here, still holding my values. But that's not convenient for Patch's video, and wouldn't allow for the anime speech they're giving here. I'll give you an example. Years ago, Patch was coerced into drawing zoo porn for Lily, because Patch needed the money, so I convinced Patch to go public about it and encourage them to give the money they made to other artists in need. The latter bit I actually did for them, since they're always destitute. Okay, yeah, this is literally a cleaned up version of the script I wrote. Like, read. Okay, here's the thing. You can write a, like, full-on... I've just realized something as well. Lio wrote a response script that apparently Zach was the one helping with. Does that mean that Peaches wasn't the one who leaked the script originally? Zach leaked the script to Peaches, and then Peaches leaked it to, like, the community? That's because, and again, that's an assumption. Because apparently Peaches wasn't talking to Lio. So the only way that Peaches could have got that script was through Zach, right? I can't confirm that, but that's the only thing that makes sense. Oh, did Lio's twin secretary betray him? Because, like, you can write a raw script, that's fine. I'm not going to criticize Lio for that. Though, I mean, Lio is somebody who sort of tries to portray this honesty. It's like, well, if this is how you honestly feel, Lio, why not just fucking say that? I don't get it. What soundtrack is this music from? Because whatever playlist you're using, I'm interested. So what's worse, not having a filter around kids or drawing zoo porn because you needed the money? I'm being consistent in the understanding I'm showing.
One by one, I have watched the people who claimed to share my goals be outed as monsters or fools. Vita turned out to be a groomer and a predator. Coyote lost the plot, and now I don't recognize him anymore. Cass Warfox, there are not enough words in the English language to express that disaster. And now, this. This repulsive circus of cockery.
So Patch puts alleged verbal abuse on the same level as predation and other terrible things. Love the consistency here, because the other people listed absolutely have evidence to the allegations against them. These situations aren't similar, but Patch will put them together like they are.
This video is completely fucking insane. This is so wild in so many ways. Again, exactly what I expected, but so fucking wild.
Desonre su di te, fratello. You have brought shame on everything we built.
Oh God! Shut up! Lio. Be Lio. Have to respond to serious accusations. How best to do that? An entire section on Patch being a fucking cringe lord, speaking about shame on your family and shit. I fuck off. Good night. No worries. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream.
I hope, I pray to every god and every devil in this world and the next that this is the last time I have to say anything about anyone. The fact that I have to sit here and condemn my own brother.
Patch didn't have to do anything. This is a choice he made.
Thank you for the 5. Becky, you never tripped and fell and you never tripped and fell and accidentally drew a Zoopod. It happens to the best of us. True. All the time. Jesus fucking Christ. The only thing that's really saved me from it is I can't draw. Otherwise, you know, it'd probably be a whole fucking catalogue. Oh, I don't know. It's Christ.
Based on literally nothing of substance.
Well, you're not my brother anymore, are you? I may issue additional statements about this as more information comes out.
You mean the truth?
As the full version of Jordan's interview is yet to be published, and I have yet to see very many other statements come forward aside from that interview and the clips that I have seen, as well as Jordan's public statement on Twitter. So as new information arrives, I will adjust my statement or expand upon it.
Bet you won't.
Oh my god.
I wanted this to be a misunderstanding.
I like the way Lio takes shots in his videos like it's a live stream. I think that's funny. I think that's funny. I think it's a nice bit. It's a nice bit.
But until I see proof that I've been played the fool, I am choosing to believe the kids that have come forward and stand by them.
Patch here flatly admits that they're willing to assume guilt without evidence, and happily, going so far as to essentially say that I had to prove a negative. A logical fallacy. Patch's entire video is nothing short of attention-seeking and disgusting.
Now, if you'll excuse me, it has taken me 6 takes to be able to get through this entire script without crying.
Don't worry. I'm trying to get through this video without fucking crying. I'm so tired, and this is so not what I need. Oh god.
So I'm gonna go have a smoke.
It took Patch 6 takes to put out something as bad as this. Not that I'm surprised at this point, but to Patch, based on your own standards, if someone makes a video on you based on literally nothing, then people should just run with it. And unlike all the other times they've been in similar situations like that, I'll no longer be there to bail them out. Jordan, once going by the online alias Mint.
Okay, I need to send someone a message very quickly, bear with me. Please. Rings. Yes. Emily. Okay. I am in fucking agony. What I'd like to do is this is like moving on to the second bit, like Jordan and things. I think I'm going to split up the stream. I think I'm gonna have to. Otherwise, my analysis, feedback, and everything else will diminish over time. Now, I would not be mean to you and make you wait so long. So, I'm gonna let people get some sleep. I'm gonna get some more fucking sleep. And I'm going to tell you roughly, what time is it now? So if it's like, See. It's going to be at like 1 o'clock-ish, I guess. 12, 1 o'clock, I don't know yet. I need to do some setups and things. Does that work for people? That's like 8 hours, right? Did you see Matt Post's pit? Matt Post's pit? Matt Pitt's post? I didn't. What is Matt Pitt's post? I messaged him earlier and I was like, it's the end times. I'm not watching a 4-hour video made by a guy who dresses up like a lion. Why can't you people make short videos, you fucking weirdos? Okay, cool. PM or AM? I mean, like, it'll literally be in 8 hours. So it'll be this afternoon, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think that EST, American Eastern Time. If I ever say times, I'm nice. I always put it in EST because I'm a fucking degenerate. I've abandoned the empire apparently. I'm gonna have a cigarette while we do sort of like wind down and things. Firstly, just a general thing, I really appreciate all the support people have given the channel while I've been covering this. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for staying up, actually, because I was like, no one is going to come and watch this stream at fucking 12:30 at night, straight after Lia's 4-hour video. That's just not a thing that's going to happen. So, thank you so much for actually coming and hanging out. That's really cool of you. I'm putting up with my voice, which is clearly sleep deprived. I can hear it squeaking in my head. I'm just like, hopefully I will sound better on the next one. Generally, thank you all for liking and subscribing, and all that shit. I do really appreciate it. There are going to be more videos. I feel like I am going to. I still have some holiday kicking around this year. I think I might have to take it. Just to deal with this fucking saga, because I know that the Doodles and Zach videos are coming. I know they are fucking coming. So we will deal with them as they fucking come. This, as I say, we've got a whole second half of the live video to do this afternoon. And I will try and get through as much of this shit as I can. Wade my way through it. Yeah, fuck. I think my final thoughts on what I've seen so far is it's, again, pretty much what I expected. It's a hit piece. There seems to be very little in the way of apologies and accountability, but there is a section we're coming up to, which I saw in the timestamps of, like, Lio responding to the Rosa stuff, responding to the accusations against him. We'll see what that looks like. Place your bets. Is Peaches going to come back to respond? I don't think Peaches will come back to respond. If I was guessing about responses, other than mine, which is not really a response, it's kind of like a breakdown, I guess. I hate the term like react stream, because I don't feel like I'm just giving you a reaction. I'm trying to kind of give a breakdown in thoughts, though. Some of this is, well, a lot of this is just me being really pissed off and reacting in that way. But I don't think Peaches will come back with a reaction. I think Peaches will stay off the internet for a while, and then come back and build a new account, because how else are they going to make money? I think that the responses we'll see will probably be predominantly out of Akumu and Kumu, and also maybe out of Enla. I can see Enla doing a response of some kind, probably not a video. I don't know if Gilded's going to respond. I doubt it, personally. I think Gilded is done with this. I can't say I fucking blame him. So yeah. Okay, perfect. Right. I will tweet out where I'm going live. I will put up the stream before I go to sleep. So you can all be prepared. I will see you all in a couple of hours. This has been fun. I have to ask, I missed a good bit. Was the whole thing about Peaches changing their gender ID out of the blue covered? It was. It wasn't quite out of the blue. To be fair to Lio, it was... Peaches had been using gender fluid pronouns for a while. and had very recently sort of stabilized on he them, and that Peach and Lio was like, well, there's no way I could, know day to day without talking to Peaches what their pronouns were while they were fluid, which is fair enough, really. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Right. It is very early in the morning.